It's been quite a while since I've done this, but it's that time of the week. It is indeed that time of the week because it's Saturday! You know what that means? We're live! Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle, wait for it. Wait for it. To mankind. And this is the official Lightning Flash update for Saturday, September 11th, 2021. And yes, indeed, we are back, baby. We are back and better than ever on Saturday afternoon. And things are just getting started, people. Big things popping, little things stopping, as MVP says. You already know. Let's check the chat. Let us check the chat. We got DJ Sums 17 in the chat. We got Rob Wells Jr. We got Matt Moody. We got Peanuts and DD. How y'all doing today? How y'all doing? I hope everyone is doing very, very well. I would like to, first off, I would actually like to thank each and every single one of you who continue to support me throughout the little Friday run for the LFU over the course of the last 6 weeks. All family obligations have been taken care of on Saturday. Now I can get back to doing what I do on Saturday afternoons instead of Fridays, but I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you who stopped by the chat, took time out of your day to watch me for the Lightning Flash update on Fridays over the course of the last 6 weeks. You guys are fantastic. You guys really are fantastic. You guys definitely make this all worthwhile. It is a great feeling to know that I have a lot of fans and loyal fans as well that will not only go out of their way to watch me on the days in which I'm usually scheduled, but will go out of their way to make time to watch me when I'm not usually on the days that I stream on or the days that I upload on. So it really is a great feeling. Been doing this for over 4 years. It's still a very humbling experience. It really is. And I'm very, very grateful that you guys were able to take time out of your day to watch me on Fridays when I was streaming on Fridays. We have a lot to go over. A lot to go over indeed. Vince McMahon, he was absent from Raw this past Monday. Of course, WWE fired the catering crew. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn could be on their way out of the WWE. And on top of that, we could be looking at WWE infiltrating more sporting areas with this new signing of Gable Steveson. We could be looking at WWE infiltrating more than just Olympic sports. We could be looking at them infiltrating college football and lacrosse and baseball and hockey and all these different types of sports, looking for athletes that they want to mold into what they feel their version of a pro wrestler is. But we got a lot to talk about. Bob Frapples, how are you? You're new to the channel and you're a big wrestling fan. Well, I like that. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell for all notifications, and please make sure you hit the like button. It is vital. We got a lot of shit to go over for sure, but before we get into the festivities and all that, I first off would like to take this time to send out my heart, my thoughts, my prayers, my condolences to anyone that was directly affected from the tragedies that took place on this date 20 years ago. It was perhaps the scariest time in American history, And my thoughts and my prayers are with everyone that was directly affected from the 9/11 tragedies that took place 20 years ago. And I know that everyone here in the chat is going to be sending their thoughts and prayers to all the individuals that were affected from the 9/11 tragedies. On a more positive note, it is someone's birthday. It is somebody's birthday in the chat. For those of you who do not know, DDXOXO, aka Danielle, one of my biggest supporters. She has been supporting me for the last year and a half. She is fantastic. She is one of the most loyal, caring individuals that I have ever met personally. And today is her 40th birthday. That is right, the big 4-0. So if everyone could please wish Danielle a happy birthday. It is indeed her birthday today. Please make sure you wish her a happy birthday here. Go send her a birthday message on Twitter or Instagram. Dee Dee's birthday is today. Big 40. So please, let me get a happy birthday, Danielle, in the chat if you can. Happy birthday to Miss Danielle. She is fantastic. Now, before we get into the festivities, I'm going to need everyone to please make sure you follow me on social media, on Twitter and Instagram, at the DJ_Storms. Again, that is both on Twitter and Instagram. Be sure to add me on Facebook for collaborations and business inquiries. Please make sure you send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Please make sure you like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. All of those links are in the description. Yes, it was Mr. Earl Cole's birthday on Thursday. It was his birthday on September 9th, 2021. Please make sure you wish him a happy birthday if you have not wished him a happy birthday already. Earl Cole is a great individual, yet another loyal supporter of mine. He's been supporting me for the last 3 years. Please make sure you subscribe to his channel as well, and be on the lookout for his show, The Wrestling Experience. He is doing some great stuff over there, so happy belated birthday to Earl Cole. We are almost 8 minutes into the stream. If you have not liked the stream, I really don't know what you're doing, because we got goals here. We got goals here on the channel, people, all right? So if you come into the stream, you got to make sure that you hit the like button. We want to get to at least 30 likes. 30 likes is the goal, people. But in order for us to get to 30 likes, I'm going to need y'all, first things first, if you have not already done so, slam on that like button when you come on in the chat. And, of course, share out the stream. Share out the stream on all platforms of social media. I'm talking about Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and Tumblr, and TikTok, and Snapchat. Whatever social media platforms that you may use, it is vital that you share out the stream on all platforms of social media. And, of course, when you do that, you get as many people in here as possible. You notify as many people as possible to come on in and watch a little bit of DJ Storms. I'm talking about your mothers, your fathers, your sons, your daughters, your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, your uncles, your grandmothers, your grandfathers, your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th cousins, twice removed, 3 times removed, 4 times removed, 5 times removed, your dogs, and your cats, and especially your guinea pigs, because I'm telling you right now, I had to lodge these articles on my phone now, because I'm telling you, my laptop's already full with article upon article upon article upon article that states specifically if DJ Storms is exposed to guinea pigs, if guinea pigs are exposed to God's favorite wrestling YouTuber, they are said to live long, happy, and healthy, and fruitful lives. I mean, I know Danielle, she just got a new pit bull puppy. Her name is Diamond. You know, she's not a guinea pig, but I think that Diamond would benefit greatly from watching a little bit of DJ Storms. DD knows what I'm talking about, especially considering it's her birthday. I mean, she made it to 40 because of DJ Storms. DD is 40 years old because DJ Storms is helping her live a long, happy, healthy, and fruitful life, and she knows it, all right? So please, people, please. If you got pets, If you got siblings or wives or husbands or anything, children, tell them that DJ Storms is live on YouTube so we can get to our goal of 30 likes. Of course, be sure to keep the chat alive. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already done so. And hit the notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is the best time to be on YouTube. Because it's the only time that you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. I got a new haircut, as you can see, so just give me 1 second because it's Earl Cole's favorite part of the stream. We're gonna light it up because we back on Saturdays with the LFU, and we're gonna light it up with a little with a dash of and a whole lot of because everybody wants a piece of the Storms Meister. Of course, if you guys missed some of the content from earlier this week, on Monday before Raw, I uploaded my vlog from an independent event that I went to. I went to a show created by independent superstars of pro wrestling, and it was a great time. It was a really great time. I was very happy to get back in there. I haven't been to a wrestling event in nearly 2 years. Prior to that event, it was great going there. I got to see former WWE superstars like Maven and Rikishi and Gene Snitsky, Crowbar. He's always a pleasure to watch. I got to see Vivacious Vicious Vicky defeat Gabby Ortiz to become the first ever ISPW Women's Champion. It was a really great moment. On top of that, I got to see the son of Big John Studd. I got put in the Cobra Clutch by Sergeant Slaughter. So it was a really, really, really fun time. If you want to catch the highlights from that, please go check the link in the description after the stream is over. And on top of that, if you guys missed the rewind for AEW All Out 2021, for the very first time ever, I had a guest on the rewind, and his name was Mr. Earl Cole. That is right. The belated birthday boy, Mr. Earl Cole, was on the channel for the rewind for AEW All Out. That went up on Tuesday afternoon. And if you guys could please go and check that out. If you have not already done so, the link is also in the description. That one is almost at 100 views. That's over 20 likes. Me and Earl Cole had a blast dissecting what was a fantastic all-out pay-per-view, a historic all-out pay-per-view. Please go and check that out if you have not already done so. It is absolutely fantastic. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. But if you guys would be so gracious as to check that out, I would greatly appreciate it. We got Alan Holland. Alan Holland, how you doing? I hope you're doing all right. We got Blazed Radio. Blazed Radio, he's at work. He stopped by to hit that like button. The incomparable DJ Storms. I like that. I like that. I think that I'm gonna have to make that one of my phrases. The incomparable DJ Storms. I like that. Blazed Radio coming in clutch with a great name right there. I like that. We got 11 likes so far. Please keep the likes on coming. And yes, Earl Cole was indeed at SmackDown last night. I'll be talking about SmackDown a little bit later on. But as of right now, we got a lot of news, rumors, and reports to dissect. And of course, we got 6 weekly shows to dissect. Weekly shows were popping this week. Well, not so much Monday Night Raw. Not so much Monday Night Raw because Monday Night Raw is a complete fucking dumpster fire in more ways than one. Monday Night Raw is absolute fucking trash. But we'll be talking about a lot of weekly shows this week, and we're going to be dissecting a lot of great material. So, without further ado, enough of the self-brand promotion and the advertisements, enough of the chit-chat. We're going to get right into the news, rumors, and reports. And like I mentioned earlier on, we're going to start off with a report from PW Insider, and they reported prior to Monday Night Raw this past Monday that Vince McMahon was absent from Raw this past Monday. The site confirmed this before Raw started, stating, and I quote, Vince McMahon is not at today's Monday Night Raw taping. PWInsider.com has confirmed Bruce Pritchard and Kevin Dunn are running the taping. End quote. I know Hibiki, who just joined. I literally just looked at the chat. Hibiki just joined, and Hibiki, he's gonna want to hear me rant about Vince McMahon apparently not being at the Raw taping. Of course, we can joke. Of course, we can joke around about how, oh my God, Vince McMahon, he's not at the Raw taping because AEW scared him off and shit like that. Now, normally I would probably say something like that. But if you want me to be completely honest, I have a feeling that Vince probably wasn't at the Raw taping because of Triple H. Because Triple H, he did undergo a procedure earlier this week because he was actually born with a heart defect. And I believe he may have gone into cardiac arrest. But he did have a successful procedure done to him. I believe it was on Wednesday afternoon, if I'm not mistaken, and he is set to make a full recovery. We don't know how long that was brewing. That could have been the issue for the last couple of days. Triple H could have probably been having problems the last couple of days, and maybe Vince McMahon, maybe he decided to take it off because, again, he cares for his family. Or maybe I'm giving Vince a little bit too much benefit of the doubt. Maybe I'm actually thinking that Vince McMahon's an actual human being at the end of the day. I don't know. But we'll probably never know. We'll probably never know the real reason why Vince McMahon was absent. Maybe he just didn't want to be there. Or maybe he just didn't give a shit. And to be quite honest with you, this is the exact problem that Vince McMahon and the entire WWE management team has. They just don't give a shit at the end of the day. Vince McMahon's like, Bruce, Kevin Dunn, you got this. I don't want to be there anyway. I don't care. You don't give a shit. Maybe he just didn't want to be there. I don't know. But Vince McMahon was indeed absent from Monday Night Raw this past week, which is actually quite shocking because Monday Night Raw was still just as bad, if not worse, than previous weeks. Vince McMahon was actually backstage at SmackDown, and SmackDown this week was actually the best weekly show that WWE has put on all year. This was the best weekly show, Raw or SmackDown, that they put on all year, which is actually quite shocking. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. I got another report from Ringside News. Ringside News confirmed that WWE has cut the catering crew, quote unquote. This was considered a budget cut that no one can believe. The spread is considered terrible by many. DEGA Catering, I probably mispronounced that, but DEGA Catering was the catering company that worked with WWE for the longest time, a very long time, and I quote, "They were part of the cuts. Now the superstars have to eat the food that the arena provides." Now, I want to say that it's probably not that big of a deal, but at the end of the day, this really does go to show you that Vince McMahon really does not give a shit about his employees altogether. If it wasn't apparent then, it certainly is apparent now. I'm not sure what the deal is. I'm not sure if the wrestlers get free food provided by the arenas. I'm not sure if they have to pay for it. But whatever it may be, the fact that this was considered a budget cut that no one can believe, really does go to show you how just maniacal and insane the people running this company really are. It is very, 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 very hard for anyone at this rate to even support this company one bit. I don't understand how anyone could even think about supporting this company after everything that's happened. I mean, it seems like I'm saying it every other fucking week. It seems like I'm just reiterating and repeating the same thing over and over again, but now they're cutting the catering crew, and now the superstars have to eat the food that the arena provides. And the spread is considered quote-unquote terrible by many, by the arenas. I mean, I don't really know what to tell you there. If it's not apparent now then something may be legitimately wrong with you. Your head is not wired fucking correctly. And it is not a laughing matter whatsoever, but all I can do is laugh. It's not a laughing matter whatsoever, but all I can do is laugh. You fired the catering crew that's been providing food for your wrestlers, and now the wrestlers have to go out of their way to buy their food from the arenas. That's just assuming if they have to buy their food from the arenas. I don't know what the deal is. I honest to God don't know what the deal is, but at the end of the day, if you're legitimately cutting catering crew members now, you're just cutting people left and right for the sake of saving money, what exactly are you going to do when more and more wrestlers want to leave? You're pretty much giving every single performer in the company, not named Randy Orton, not named Bill Goldberg or Brock Lesnar or Charlotte or Becky or Rollins or Orton, you're pretty much giving every single performer not named them a reason to leave. You're giving every single performer more and more reason to leave. And I'm going to elaborate on that more when we talk about the Gable Steveson signing and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn potentially leaving. Because that's fucking unprecedented. More and more people are starting to jump ship. It's not funny. It's not funny, and it's very sad to watch, and I know a lot of people are thinking the same thing, but all I can do is laugh. All I can do is laugh. It's so bad, and it's so pathetic that it's laughable at this rate. It's just flat out fucking laughable. You want to know what else is laughable? The fact that they let Adam Cole go. They let Adam Cole walk over a fucking Twitch channel. If that wasn't bad enough, if that wasn't fucking bad enough, reports are stating that a creative pitch for Adam Cole before he left was to make him a manager. I fucking kid you not. A fucking manager. Dave Meltzer provided details on this. He stated on Wrestling Observer Radio, and I quote, "The idea was to turn Keith Lee heel and have Adam Cole be his manager, probably with a new name so you don't have two Coles. Described as a Leo Rush / Lashley dynamic where Cole is the little guy hiding behind the big guy." End quote. Again, similar to the catering incident, all I can do is laugh. All I can do is laugh. I don't even know where to begin with this. I don't even know where to fucking start. You have one of the greatest pro wrestlers of this generation, a guy who's going to go down when he's done wrestling in Adam Cole. Adam Cole, mark my words, he will go down as one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time by the end of his career. When he is 40 years old, he is going to go down as one of the greatest pro wrestlers of all time. You have Adam fucking Cole, in a position in which he's been putting on classics in NXT with Aleister Black and Ricochet and Johnny Gargano, Velveteen Dream, Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee. Guy brought fucking Pat McAfee to a great match. And you have all of this talent in Adam Cole at your disposal. You have all this talent in Adam Cole at your disposal. I don't understand how you watch all of those matches that I just named. If I am a CEO of a wrestling promotion, I don't understand how Vince McMahon watches all of these matches that Adam Cole has been a part of, and you look at everything that took place in those matches, and you're telling me that you don't want to push Adam Cole to the main event scene? You're telling me that you don't want to fucking push him to the moon? You have to be, legitimately, I use this word a lot, but it holds true. You have to be legitimately fucking retarded if you're telling me that Adam Cole is not a main event guy. I don't fucking understand. I don't understand the mentality of the people running this company and some wrestling fans. Because wrestling fans, some of the wrestling fans in the community are just as fucking retarded as Vince. I don't understand the mentality of, oh, yeah, he's not 6'4", he's not 250 pounds, yeah, no, we don't need that. We don't need that. Well, yeah, he's not a superstar. Maybe if he was bigger, yeah, maybe he'd be a superstar. Why? Why do you have to be 6'4", 250 pounds? And even if you are, look at what happened to Karrion Kross. Look at what fucking happened to Karrion Kross. Words cannot even describe. There are not enough human words in the English dictionary that can describe how fucking ridiculous and how much wrong there is with this report. You're making a guy that has given you some of the greatest pro wrestling matches of this generation in Adam Cole. You're going to make him a manager because he's not 6'4", 250 pounds, and you're going to change his name? Oh, what, just so they don't confuse him with Michael Cole? Are you serious? So you change Nikki Cross to Nikki ASH just so she's not confused with Karrion Kross. Your fans are not fucking stupid. Some of them are, but the majority are not. I'm not fucking stupid. You're not fucking stupid. The people watching me are not fucking stupid. The people watching me are the most intelligent people in the fucking wrestling community. Because they're associating themselves with me. How the fuck are you going to take Adam Cole after everything that this guy has done and make him a fucking manager all because he's not 6'4", 260 pounds? Are you out of your fucking mind? Are you out of your mind? This fucking mentality of wrestlers need to be 6'4", 260 pounds. This shit and this mentality, it needs to die. It is the most toxic, completely overrated, completely outdated mentality of anyone in the wrestling industry. I don't give a shit who you are. I don't give a shit how long you've been watching. I don't give a shit how long you've been in the wrestling industry, whether you're a fan, whether you're a wrestler, whether you're a fucking analyst, a podcaster, a CEO, a COO, an executive producer, executive vice president of talent relations. I don't give a shit who you are. This mentality of looks make a superstar, and you need to be 6'5" and 270 pounds with big muscles and a big fucking biceps and a 6-pack, an 8-pack, thick thighs. You need all this shit to be a big deal. Oh no, you don't need to wrestle. Oh no, we're not looking for that. Oh no, we're not looking for great characters and great promo work. We're just looking for a great look. This mentality needs to fucking die 1,000 deaths. It needs to die. I don't give a shit who the fuck you are. If you are defending this in any way, shape, or form, and if you are defending this type of mentality, this diluted, outdated fucking mentality, you are the fucking problem. You're the fucking problem. Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you to say that Adam Cole can't be a main event guy? Who the fuck are you to say that Adam Cole can't be a major star just because he's not the size of Karrion Kross? How fucking dare you? Fuck this company. Fuck this company and fuck the people that are running it. At this rate, with shit like this, and the fact that WWE is just going to continue to let people go, I am telling you right now, unless they're selling the company, they are in some deep fucking shit. Eventually, all of this money is gonna run out. I know Nick Khan says, oh yeah, they're not open for business, they're not selling the company. I guarantee you that if they do not sell the company, if they continue doing what they're doing and just continue to brush shit off like this, they are going to start losing fans, they're going to start losing interest, and above all else, they will fucking lose money. This Fox deal ain't going to last forever. All of this Peacock money, you're not going to see a return on your investment if you keep on putting out shitty programming. Not everything can be what you put on last night at SmackDown. SmackDown was actually a very good show, which we'll talk about later. But not everything can be like that because something like that, that's a once-in-a-lifetime fucking deal with the WWE. It's a rarity that they put on a good show like that. WWE is in some serious shit. And this only just adds to it. This just further exposes the problem with WWE. The mentality of a 6'5", 260-pound musclehead being a superstar. This mentality that that's the only way that someone's going to be a superstar in pro wrestling, that shit needs to die. It is 2021. It is not 1992. And I got a report to follow up on that, and we're going to continue talking about this scenario in which WWE is just absolutely fucking crumbling. AEW doesn't have to do a fucking thing. All they need to do is just keep on doing what they're doing. WWE, the greatest threat to WWE is themselves. The greatest threat to WWE is themselves. And we're going to talk about that right now. Because Kevin Owens has teased leaving the WWE. Kevin Owens changed his location in his bio, stating, and I quote, "almost there." He also tweeted out the coordinates on the latitude and longitude map to point out Mount Rushmore on the map. Mount Rushmore, for those of you who do not know, Mount Rushmore was a faction from 2013 to 2014 on the independent scene that included Adam Cole, the Young Bucks, and yes, indeed, Kevin Owens. Owens then left the faction and was kicked out when he signed with the WWE in 2014. Fightful Select has reported that Kevin Owens' contract is currently set to expire in January of 2022. We thought he was here until 2023, but apparently Fightful did indeed report that it's going to expire in less than 4 months. Coincidentally, Sami Zayn's contract is also set to expire in the fall of this year. Now, you could take this as speculation. You could take this as whatever you will. You could probably take this as Kevin Owens just trolling, Kevin Owens just adding fuel to the fire. But you know for a fact that with the arrival of Punk, with the arrival of Bryan Danielson, with the arrival of Adam Cole, you know that guys like Owens, guys like Zayn, probably guys like Cedric Alexander, Angel Garza even tweeted out a cryptic tweet with an hourglass and then the eyes looking to the left. So Angel Garza's contract could be up as well. I don't know where he fits into AEW, but Angel Garza could be headed out the door as well. Guys like that, you know for a fact that they know their value and they are going to want to get into the fold as far as AEW goes with the Forbidden Door. They could jump in the fray with New Japan, maybe Impact, NWA, whatever it may be. You know for a fact that all of these types of individuals, they are looking outside of WWE and they see what's going on. They see the revolution that is happening right before our very eyes. They really are. Kevin Owens has been extremely underutilized over the course of the last 2-3 years now. He hasn't won a championship since 2017. On top of that, Sami Zayn, fucking forget about Sami Zayn, outside of his 2 Intercontinental title reigns, which really weren't all that good, Sami Zayn has been one of the most shafted individuals on WWE's main roster in this era. He's like the new Dolph Ziggler. Sami Zayn should have been a hell of a lot bigger than he was. Sami Zayn should be a multi-time world champion by now. Same thing with Kevin Owens. I don't really understand. I don't really understand why Sami and Owens, just because they're indie wrestlers, that means that, we have no value for that. Why is it that WWE can't fucking admit that their mentality and their vision is not working? You do realize that it's not a fucking sign of weakness. You fucking idiots. It's not a sign of weakness to admit failure. It actually makes you stronger in the end because you're big enough and you're man enough to admit that your vision failed and then you switch things up. You can't keep on forcing shit on people and expecting the same result and expecting things to magically get better. The definition of fucking insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So at the end of the fucking day, this mentality of, oh yeah, bigger guys, yeah, we need bigger guys, we need guys that are larger than life, yeah, that's really gonna help. You really think that people want to see a fucking Black Great Khali, aka Omos, and Bobby Lashley go at it on Monday Night Raw? They had to edit all the fucking crowd reactions that we heard in on Monday Night Raw. Miami was like fucking corpses. Corpses! And I was texting Hibiki about it during Monday Night Raw. Fucking corpses. And I fucking love, I love how WWE's always like, oh, CM Punk, yeah, not a big deal. Oh, yeah, Bryan Daniels, oh, yeah, he's not a big deal, we lost. Oh, yeah, Adam Cole, oh, not a big deal, we lost Adam Cole. Oh, Jon Moxley, oh, not a big deal, we lost Jon Moxley. Oh, yeah, Dynamite got 1.32 million ratings. Ah, it's not a big deal. So when is it going to be a big deal? When is it going to be a big deal? When are you finally going to wake the fuck up? Or maybe they do realize it, they just don't care. They're just trying to brush everything off to look cool and seem like, oh yeah, everything's okay. You know what WWE is like? It's so stereotypical, but WWE is like that fucking meme of the dog sitting in a house with fire all around it, sipping coffee, saying, oh yeah, this is fine. That's exactly what WWE is. That's exactly what WWE is. When is it going to be looked at as a big deal? When? I fucking dare them. I dare Vince. I dare Bruce. I dare Kevin Dunn. I dare John Laurinaitis. I dare Nick Khan. I dare all these fucking idiots. Release Kevin Owens. Let him walk. Let Sami walk. I dare them. I dare them to just continue brushing this shit off. Because the more that they brush this shit off, it's going to come back around to bite them in the ass. The fans don't want sports entertainment. And whether you want to admit it or not, people need to get it through their thick fucking skulls. Sports entertainment is not pro wrestling. Sports entertainment is a fucking lame farce created by Vince McMahon to mask his fucking failures. So it's nothing more than a farce to mask Vince McMahon failures while he tries to make WWE more mainstream to try and get them more money. And the quality of his product keeps on getting worse and worse and worse and worse. You know what's the one thing that AEW has done? You know what's the one thing that AEW has done? AEW has exposed WWE even further for the shit company that they are. They were already trending this way, was WWE. WWE was already trending downward before AEW became a thing. Now, AEW was just further exposed to WWE's flaws. And AEW, by no means it's perfect. It's by no means perfect, but the overall product, they're putting on a very good overall product. And you take a look at the ratings for Dynamite this past Wednesday, clearly it's resonating. Clearly it's reciprocating. Clearly the fans want pro wrestling. Clearly the fans do not want sports entertainment. And whether you want to admit it or not, there is a big difference, and there's a major fine line between sports entertainment and pro wrestling. Two different things. If you haven't realized it by now, you're never going to realize it, and you may be a fucking retard for the rest of your life. But if Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn end up walking, if Punk's over there, Bryan's over there, if Cole's over there, you know that Wyndham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt, he's the next in line. And we're going to talk about that when we get to the Dynamite review. He's the next in line. Can you imagine, in the span of less than a year, can you fucking imagine? Just think about this. Can you fucking imagine, in the span of less than a year, that WWE would have passed on Punk, Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, Bray Wyatt, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn? That is unfucking precedented. That is unfucking precedented beyond fucking belief. And Vince McMahon, all he's going to do is toss dollar bills at superstars in hopes that they'll stay. It's not going to work that way. It's not going to work that way. People are not only in this for the money, and people have yet to fucking realize this, the money is always going to be there. There's never going to be a fucking shortage of money for people like Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn or CM Punk or Bryan Danielson or Adam Cole. They have built such a reputable name for themselves that they're going to make money no matter where they end up. They're going to make money no matter where they end up. And at the end of the fucking day, what they want is proper booking. What they want is proper in-ring storytelling. What they want is pro wrestling. And if Vince McMahon can't provide it to them, then you know what? They're going to walk. Money is not everything. People are not only in this for the money, because if you are not happy in the position that you're in, if you are not treated well by your bosses, if you are not treated well, then you know what? You're going to walk. That's exactly what Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are going to do. Unless they are happy in the positions that they are in, which I don't see that they are. I'm sorry. They're going to walk. If AEW snags up Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, that's unprecedented. Wherever one goes, the other will follow. They're all in this together, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. If Sami Zayn leaves when his contract is up, Kevin Owens is going to leave too. Plain and simple. Money is not everything. And people need to fucking realize it. People need to fucking wake up to that. Vince McMahon, Kevin Dunn, Bruce Pritchard, fans as well, because you know that there are WWE cocksuckers out there. John Alba actually came out and he actually stated that there is an internal belief that Owens could very well be leaving. John Alba stated, and I quote, "In speaking with some WWE sources throughout the day, there is very much an internal belief Owens is gone at the end of his WWE deal. He has dropped multiple hints on social media in the last 24 hours that allude to him being AEW bound." So if we see Kevin Steen in AEW, we see El Generico in AEW, if WWE's just going to brush this off, oh yeah, it's not that big of a deal, then what? When is it going to be a big deal? What happens if Finn Balor leaves? What happens if AJ Styles leaves? What happens if Keith Lee leaves? What happens if Drew McIntyre leaves? What happens if Karrion Kross leaves? What happens if John Morrison leaves? What happens if Randy Orton leaves? What happens if Roman Reigns leaves? Now, I'm not saying that this is going to happen. I don't see it happening. I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying what happens if that happens. When is it going to be a big deal? When are you going to start taking this shit seriously? When are you going to finally fucking admit that you failed at delivering what you said that you were going to deliver on, and you failed to deliver on quality programming? When are you going to finally fucking admit that your vision is a failure? When are you finally going to evolve with the fucking times? Mick Foley even came out this week. Now let me tell you, Mick Foley, he has just, he's really turned into a brainwashed shill. For the most part, Mick Foley, he has been a WWE cocksucker for the most part. And on top of that, he's a liberal cuck. He's been a panderer to social media and all these Black Lives Matter movements, even though they're fucking looting and rioting. You know, Mick Foley's just a liberal cuck. He's a liberal cuck. He's a WWE panderer. He's a WWE cocksucker. So I've lost a lot of respect for Mick Foley over the years. But Mick Foley, what he said, I don't see how anyone can disagree with what Mick Foley said. Mick Foley posted a video on Twitter with the caption, WWE, we've got a problem. He talked about the lack of interest in the WWE. He talked about the product, the rise of AEW. He just talked about how WWE is just completely in shambles right now. He's talked about how WWE is just completely in shambles right now. And supposedly, Andrew Zarian of the Matman podcast, he stated that people within WWE are very unhappy with Mick Foley's comments. Really now? So, you're mad because Mick Foley spoke the truth. Now you got legends. Now you got people who have built a really, really good reputation with the fucking company, like Mick Foley, now you got people like him coming out on social media stating, yeah, WWE, you're not doing it right anymore. WWE, you clearly have a problem. Take a look what AEW is doing. AEW is doing things creatively correct. If Mick Foley and Ric Flair, even Ric Flair, with the reports that Ric Flair had over the course of the last month, Ric Flair came out and he talked about how things in WWE were not going the way that they should be going. If guys like Flair and guys like Foley, they came out and they stated what the problem was. If these guys are stating that WWE has a fucking problem and they're two of the greatest of all time, what is it gonna fucking take? What is it gonna fucking take to break through? At this rate, if those guys can't even break through, this company is never fucking improving. This company is never fucking improving. Mick Foley, I don't understand why anyone's so unhappy with Mick Foley in the WWE. Or maybe I do understand why. It's because Mick Foley pretty much validated everything that me and people like me, the intelligent people like me, have been stating for years. And I'm not the first. I certainly won't be the last. There are people who are bigger content creators than me. There are people who are smaller content creators than me that's been saying the same fucking thing as I have been saying. And now you got Mick Foley saying these things. He's pretty much validating everything that we've been stating. Mick Foley, whether you like him or not, and I don't like him at all. I stated before, he's a liberal cuck. I don't like him. He's an idiot. But what he said right here, nothing but truth. Nothing but truth. You cannot, and I mean you cannot deny anything that Mick Foley stated. Mick was right. There's no interest in WWE. They're not booking talent correctly. Mick Foley even tweeted out a photo with the caption this, and the photo was of John Morrison and Karrion Kross from when they were in Impact, and they were fighting for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship on Impact Wrestling. And on Monday Night Raw, you have John Morrison spraying Karrion Kross with the fucking drip stick. More and more. Mick Foley, he's continuing to validate everything that we have been saying. And they all tie into one. The Kevin Owens report, the Adam Cole report, Mick Foley, they all tie into one. I don't even know what the fuck to... Again, nothing that I stated is anything that we haven't already heard. Nothing that I stated is anything that we haven't already heard. Thousands of individuals have been saying the same thing that I have been saying. Thousands of content creators. Everyone in here has been saying the same thing that I've been saying. Nothing that I said is new. Nothing that I said is groundbreaking information. Nothing that I said is news. Everything that I said is shit that we've been saying for God knows how long now. Is it going to fall on deaf ears? Yeah, absolutely it will. Absolutely it's going to fall on deaf ears. You know why? Because Vince McMahon doesn't give a shit. And the more this continues, more fans are going to migrate away from WWE, and that more interest is going to go down, and more money is going to be lost. You're not going to be able to live off of Peacock money and Fox money forever. Moving on, I actually got some interesting news about AEW. This is actually more on the positive side. Aew Dark started their tapings in Universal Studios down in Florida today, actually. Ringside News reported that the tapings for tonight sold out in rapid fashion, and I quote, rapid fashion. The company segmented tonight's tapings into two portions, both sold out in rapid fashion. And I thought that was very, very, very impressive. Now, this is very impressive for a multitude of reasons. Number one, AEW Dark recently, it hasn't really been all that interesting. It hasn't really been all of that interesting simply because of the fact that a lot of Dark is just enhancement matches, which really needs to change. And I have been one to say, yeah, that needs to change. Majority of Dark is just enhancement match after enhancement match. Not a lot of Dark matches actually have stories. But I will say this. The fact that Dark sold out in rapid fashion for both portions of the tapings really does go to show you that AEW has built quite a loyal fucking fan base to a point where they're even going to go out of their way to watch 2 hours of fucking enhancement matches. And that really goes to show you the amount of trust and the amount of interest that is in the AEW product as we speak. And that's something that should be celebrated. Speaking of something that should be celebrated, Tony Khan tweeted out something in relations to Lio Rush. For those of you that remember, Lio Rush was actually the Joker in the Casino Battle Royale back at Double or Nothing in 2021, back at the end of May. And then afterwards, shortly afterwards, he retired from pro wrestling. Apparently he's back, and Tony Khan tweeted out, and I quote, "I see a lot of tweets talking about Lio Rush today. Coincidentally, I've been talking to at the Lionel Green a lot recently about returning to at AEW, and it feels like something that could happen in the near future." So you know something? I think that this is going to be a very, 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 very interesting get. And if AEW is able to snag Lio Rush, even if it's just for a few minor appearances, I think that this is going to be a huge, huge deal for Lio Rush, because Lio Rush, he is great at what he does. Lio Rush is fantastic. Lio Rush is fantastic. I love Lio Rush. And I was a very, 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 very big advocate for Lio Rush when he was on 205 Live and he was the Cruiserweight Champion. I remember actually watching Lio Rush as a young 17-year-old kid. It was after my birthday, I believe. It was after my birthday in 2016, after WrestleMania 32, where I went to a Game Changer wrestling event, and Lio Rush actually, he was at that Game Changer wrestling event, and I was actually very, very much impressed with what he did. I was very much impressed with what he did. So I was very, very, very happy to see what happened with Lio Rush. I was very, very, very happy to see Lio Rush get signed with the WWE, and the fact that he became the Cruiserweight Champion. So if he is to come back to AEW, he was to have some matches with maybe a Kenny Omega. They want to go that route. Maybe a Christian Cage, maybe a Matt Hardy, maybe a Jungle Boy, maybe a Darby Allin. I think that would be pretty damn good. I think that would be pretty damn good if they go that route, that is. If they decide to go that route. I think that at this rate, it's just a waiting game. Just a waiting game for now. But I would absolutely love to see Lio Rush back in AEW very, very soon. And the big report before we move on. The big report. WWE tweeted out earlier this week to confirm Dave Meltzer's report. Gable Steveson has indeed signed with the WWE. And at the end of the day, this is not really anything unprecedented. To be quite honest with you, whether you want to admit it or not, this really isn't anything that's going to generate any buzz. It's really not going to generate any interest. Yeah, it'll probably get a few ESPN headlines here and there, but at the end of the day, this is not going to do anything in terms of boosting up the ratings in the long term. It's not. It's not going to do anything in terms of boosting up the ratings in the long term. It's not going to do anything in terms of generating interest in the product. This is just WWE venturing into other sporting areas. Olympic wrestling, football, and baseball, and lacrosse, and hockey. And what they want to do is they want to take individuals that have no wrestling experience whatsoever, so they can train them and mold them into what they want out of a pro wrestler, And at the end of the day, we're going to be watching some of the most basic pro wrestling matches in the modern era. We're going to be watching Hogan Andre 2.0. We're going to be watching fucking Psycho Sid and The Undertaker 2.0. And I love The Undertaker. But at the end of the day here, WWE, still living in the fucking 90s, they haven't realized that this fucking mentality of, oh yeah, we need big names and big guys, all this other shit, this is not going to get them any interest in the product. It's not. Now, Gable Steveson, could he have a Ronda Rousey-like year? Maybe. Maybe he could have a Ronda Rousey-like year. I don't know. We could possibly see that. We could possibly see Gable Steveson shock a lot of people. We could possibly see Gable Steveson take the WWE by storm. But at the end of the fucking day, it's not going to be anything groundbreaking. Because at the end of the fucking day, you could have great name value, but at the end of the day, we're going to be seeing the most basic of wrestling moves coming out of these guys. Oh, look, he's going to do a punch. Oh, look, he's going to do a suplex. Oh, look, he's going to do a clothesline. Oh, look, he's going to do a drop kick. That shit's fucking boring. I'm sorry. Guys like Ridge Holland, they're fucking boring. Guys like Timothy Thatcher, they're fucking boring. Guys like the Creed brothers, who made their debut on NXT this week, they're fucking boring. They're boring. You're not going to generate any interest if you're seeing the same fucking people do the same fucking basic moves over and over again. And Gable Steveson, he's not going to be a game changer. I'm sorry, he's not. He's not. All this is WWE trying to gain mainstream attention and sign people so that way they can mold them into what they want out of a pro wrestler instead of hiring indie talent. At this rate, no indie performer is going to want to sign with this company. None. No indie performer is going to want to sign with this company at all. I did a lot of fucking ranting for the last hour. Let's check the chat. I know there was an issue in the chat earlier on, but we'll let that slide for now. Here's what I want all you to do. If you haven't already done so, please make sure you hit that like button. We got 15 likes. We're halfway to 30, people. We are halfway to 30. Let's check social media and see who's sharing out the stream. Who here is sharing out the stream? I want to know. Let me see. I want to know. I think Danielle, I know that she's sharing out the stream. Yeah, she shared out the stream. Danielle shared out the stream. Who else has shared out the stream? Earl Cole and Hula Grim and Adam. Oh, did you share out the stream? Where's Rob? Rob Wells Jr. We're going to see. See if Rob Wells Jr. shared out the stream. Rob, you didn't share out the stream. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? What are you doing, brother? What are you doing? Look at that. We got 16 likes. I like to see that. Adam Call, you got to share out the stream. I know Hansan the man, he was joking. People. Don't take things so seriously here. Unless I tell you to block them, don't block them. David Maniscalco, he shared out the stream. Why is it that Danielle and David, they're the only ones that shared out the stream? We need some more people sharing out the stream. It's vital, man. It's vital. People. You gotta share this out. It's vital. Oh, you just did. Let me see if you did. And then we're going to get into the Raw review. We're checking it right now. There we go, brother. That's what I'm talking about. Rob Wells Jr. shared out the stream. Oh, Earl Cole just shared out the stream. Earl Cole, baby, just shared out the stream. That's what I like to see. Anyway, What do you say we get into... Here we go. Hologram! Hologram just shared out the stream. I see you, brother. I see you. Hologram shared out the stream. Oh, I see we just got 17 likes. I love it. Peanut butter jelly with a baseball bat. How you doing, brother? Hologram's like, acknowledge me. Hologram, listen, you ain't Roman Reigns. You ain't Roman Reigns. Yeah, screw him, Rob. Screw him, Rob. You see, you're with the posse now. You're with the posse now. You don't need anybody else but the DJ Storms posse, baby. Anyway, what do you say we get into Raw? I know a lot of people, they want to hear me say a lot of things about Raw. Right? I know Dee Dee shared it out. It's her birthday, by the way. Anyone who hasn't wished Dee Dee a happy birthday, wish Dee Dee a happy birthday. So, we got a lot to go over as far as these weekly shows go. Raw. I mean, do I really need to go in depth about Raw? Do I really need to go in depth about Raw? Sucks. Raw sucks. It sucks. This Raw was boring. This Raw was poorly played out. I don't even know what else I could say about Raw. So, RK Bro, perhaps one of the only good things about Raw. Yeah, I know, DJ Sums. I know you don't want me to talk about Raw, but, you know, I took notes on it. How many notes? I took about 4 pages of notes on it, so I got it. So RK Bro kicked off the show. Orton said the WWE Champion Bobby Lashley and MVP tried to take these titles off of Riddle and I, and they failed. Bobby Lashley is a greedy son of a bitch, and we'll see which team gets to try and get beat by the most dangerous tag team in sports entertainment, RK Bro. So Riddle went on and on, Riddle doing his normal shtick. He went on and on about the 4 other teams. Whoever's scripting Riddle's promos is terrible. MVP and Lashley came out. MVP's like, Riddle, will you shut your dumb ass up? So he goes, you should worry about this man that will rip Randy's head off for that cowardly RKO last week. Lashley goes on about how he's going to finish what you started. He says, man up and face me like a man one-on-one. Orton goes, you're challenging me to a match? That sounds interesting. Based on you talking about double champion this, double champion that, I'll accept your match on one condition. When we fight, you put that WWE Championship on the line. So MVP said, when the Almighty returns the favor, it will be one-on-one for the WWE Championship at Extreme Rules. Which is actually quite interesting because they're booking the WWE Championship match between Randy Orton and Bobby Lashley next week. What does that have to do with? I'm pretty sure it has nothing to do with Monday Night Football now coming back, right? Because you got Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football now. The NFL starting up. And you gotta make sure you get those ratings up for Monday Night Raw, right, Vince? So you're just going to throw a WWE title match even though you announced it for Extreme Rules. And then we'll probably get the WWE Championship match again at Extreme Rules anyway, right? It's a fucking company. On top of that, why is Randy Orton challenging for the WWE Championship? Why is it that champions are challenging champions? No champion should be losing. If Randy Orton is the Raw Tag Team Champion, he needs to focus on being one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions. Plain and simple. He should focus on the Tag Team titles. He focuses on the Tag Team titles, and then after he's done, after he loses the Tag Team titles, then he can focus on another championship. It makes no fucking sense. It doesn't make any sense, but I would gladly fucking take Sheamus over Randy Orton to face Bobby Lashley, because whoever faces Bobby Lashley between now and Crown Jewel is ultimately going to lose, because Bobby Lashley is going into another match with Goldberg at Crown Jewel. So I would gladly take fucking Sheamus. Why do we need another Sheamus versus Priest match? No matter how good the first one was, why do we need another Sheamus versus Priest match? Why can't we see Sheamus take on Bobby, at least it's a fresh match, and then Priest faces McIntyre, while RK Bro, they get new challengers. RK Bro gets new challengers. So, Lashley goes, after MVP accepts the challenge, he goes, we're going to get into that tag team turmoil and we'll win and I'll be a double champion. So now Lashley is now going for the fucking tag team titles, even though he's the WWE champion. So the New Day then came out and Kofi said, you might want to talk to Sonya and Adam because we're kicking off this tag team turmoil right now. Woods said, when we win this match, we'll go on to become your new WWE Raw Tag Team Champions. Blah, blah, blah. Terribly booked segment. This was a terribly booked segment. Just like every other fucking segment on this shit programming. Again, I stated, I don't care whether or not Randy Orton is a babyface. I don't care if he's all you got, quote unquote. He's not all you got. Randy Orton should focus on the tag team titles. Randy Orton should focus on the tag team titles, and Randy Orton should be building that tag team title reign with Matt Riddle. Meanwhile, Bobby Lashley, he's facing a new opponent in Sheamus just to get him through Extreme Rules, even though it doesn't make sense. Then, Drew McIntyre faces Damian Priest. Drew puts over Damian Priest. Sheamus already put over Damian Priest, so Drew puts over Priest next at Extreme Rules. Drew loses and then gets drafted to SmackDown. Damian Priest continues his U.S. title reign. We get a new, fresh tag team taking on RK Bro. You could have done the Lucha House Party. You could have done the Viking Raiders. Hell, I would have even taken the New Day. And I can't fucking stand the New Day in the Raw Tag Team title picture. The New Day are the Charlotte Flair of the Raw Tag Team division. They are fucking terrible with all the opportunities that they keep on getting. But at the end of the fucking day, I would have taken them over Bobby Lashley and MVP. And on top of that, Bobby Lashley and MVP won. The match isn't even taking place next week. The match isn't even taking place next week, yet you advertised it for next week. And instead we're getting a WWE Championship match next week. Literally was just announced yesterday during SmackDown. What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? I did not give a shit about this tag team turmoil match at all. And you know something? There was some damn good wrestling in this tag team turmoil. But the crowd, they didn't care because WWE never gave a shit about tag team wrestling to begin with. WWE constantly buried tag team wrestling. And on top of that, WWE, they spread this out over the course of an hour, and then they had this close the show as well. So the New Day was running through all these fucking tag teams. New Day was running through the Viking Raiders, running through Veer and Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal and Veer. Jinder Mahal and Veer are still on the fucking show. Meanwhile, we can't get any time on the show for Cedric, Shelton, or Asuka, or Shayna in a wrestling role. We can't get any time on the fucking show for Akira Tozawa not chasing the 24/7 title. We can't get any fucking time for Angel Garza. But Jinder Mahal and Veer have a spot on television. New Day was running through everyone. Jinder Mahal and Veer, the Viking Raiders, Lucha House Party. They beat Mace and T-Bar, and then Mace and T-Bar attacked the New Day, and Mansoor and Mustafa Ali laid them all out. And then Sonya and Adam came out and said, yeah, we're going to let them recover, and we'll finish the match later. What a waste of fucking time. What a waste of time. Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. This was a number one contenders match to see who was going to face Damian Priest for the U.S. title. So let me get this straight. Drew and Sheamus both lost. They both lost last week, yet they're getting another opportunity facing each other to see who's going to face off against Damian Priest for the U.S. title. Meanwhile, they just lost. Same fucking matches over and over and over again. Good match. It was a good match. But who the fuck cares? Who cares? We've seen this match 6 other times already. We've seen this match 6 other times already. So instead of giving the opportunity to a John Morrison or a Keith Lee, Shelton Benjamin, Cedric, you got a fucking mid-card, use it! Good match, but who gives a shit? So Sheamus, diving clothesline to the floor on Drew. Back in the ring, both men were on the top rope before Sheamus came back with a suplex to Drew. Back in the ring after commercial, Drew mounted a comeback. Drew with a belly-to-belly off the top rope for a 2. Sheamus with a headbutt with his mask for a 2, and an Alabama slam. Drew with a future shock DDT. Sheamus kicked out. Sheamus with a punt knee strike for a 2. White noise on Drew for a 2. Drew then took the mask off of Sheamus. Sheamus then rolled up Drew McIntyre with a handful of tights for the win. And Sheamus beats Drew with a handful of tights. Afterwards, Drew McIntyre attacked Sheamus and gave him a Claymore for his troubles. So we're getting another Sheamus versus Priest match. Instead of getting a fresh one-on-one match between Drew and Priest, now we're getting Sheamus versus Priest again. Rhea Ripley and Nikki Trash versus Natalya and Tamina. This was a championship contenders match. So, I want you guys to think about this for a minute. Now, I realize that nothing on WWE television is memorable. I realize that not a lot of shit on WWE television is anything special. I understand if you guys forget shit. I forget shit too. That's why I take my notes, because WWE television fucking sucks. But if you remember, and I remember, Natalya and Tamina, they faced off against Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox on 3 separate occasions. 3 separate occasions. And they lost on 3 separate occasions. Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox lost. They beat the champions. Natalya and Tamina lost. Shotzi and Nox defeated the champions on 3 separate occasions. In championship contenders matches, might I add. And I tweeted this out. Fucking shit blew up. Got like over 100 likes. I tweeted out, WWE legitimately takes their audience for fucking idiots. Shotzi and Tegan beat Natalya and Tamina on 3 separate occasions, but yet here are Rhea Ripley and Nikki Trash getting a championship contenders matches before Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox even get their fucking title shot. Who books this? Who fucking books this? Shotzi and Tegan didn't even get their fucking tag team title opportunity. Yet Nikki Cross and Rhea Ripley are getting a championship contenders match for no fucking reason. How can anyone support this shit? It's not like the women's tag team titles even mean anything, but this is a logic gap that went right over fucking White Castle Pritchard's head. It is fucking unreal. It's unreal. You have Blackheart and Nox beat the champions on 3 separate occasions. Where is their fucking title match? Now, if we get the title match, and if Natalya and Tamina would have won, and then Nikki Cross and Rhea Ripley would have gotten the championship contenders match, maybe I would understand that, even though the championship contenders matches are fucking terrible. I would understand that, but still. How are you going to do a championship contenders match when Blackheart and Nox didn't even get their title opportunity? It is fucking unreal. And Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash win. They win. So they win, they beat the champions, so who's going to get the title match first? Who's going to get the title match first? I don't fucking know, and I don't fucking care. The women's tag team titles and division is dead. And don't even get me fucking started. Moist TV So much so, Moist TV with Karrion Kross. Mick Foley even commented on this, like I already stated. Mick fucking Foley commented on Moist TV with Karrion Kross. I can't even begin to fucking tell you. I cannot even begin to tell you how much wrong there is with this segment. Karrion Kross, a fucking beast on NXT, beat the likes of Santos Escobar, Damian Priest, Keith Lee, Finn Balor, Johnny Gargano, had great matches with them here on the main roster. He's dressed as a fucking medieval hatchet man, and he's on fucking Moist TV with rubber duckies. With fucking rubber duckies, as if it's fucking Sesame Street with Bert and Ernie. Like I stated, rubber ducky, you're the one. You make bath time lots of fun. You got Karrion Kross, he's Bert, and John Morrison, he's Ernie. And we get a fucking match later. John Morrison sprays Karrion Kross with the dripstick. Karrion Kross chokes out Morrison with the cross jacket. Where is this even leading to? Where is this even leading to? Karrion Kross has not been put in anything meaningful. No meaningful stories, no feuds, nothing. He's just beating a bunch of enhancement talents that don't hold any value to television. Karrion Kross is buried. I don't want to hear a fucking peep out of anyone. Oh, great. Oh, God. Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax. Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax. Raw Women's Championship. People, you know the code. What's the code, people? The code on this channel, the number one code on this channel is fuck Charlotte Flair. Fuck Charlotte Flair. And all of her supporters. Fuck them. So, Nia Flapjacks and Shayna Baszler, they had some dissension. Shayna got up on the apron, she took the microphone and she said, "Will my partner become Raw Women's Champion or will she choke?" So this played into what happened later on. Charlotte ended up winning because Shayna caused a distraction. She caused a distraction with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler cost Nia Jax the Raw Women's Championship as Charlotte Flair delivered natural selection from the top for the win. Terrible match. I didn't give a shit. The only thing I don't even know how many fucking times is this? What is it, like 10 fucking times now? How many fucking times have we seen the breakup of Nia and Shayna? Is this the end or is this the end? When is it over? This should have been over 4 months ago. When is this shit over? When? Afterwards, Alexa Bliss, she came up on the screen. Bliss said, "Lily and I would like to invite you to the playground." Charlotte said, "I'm definitely not coming to the playground." Bliss goes, "If you're not coming to us, we'll just have to bring the playground to you." So lights go out, lights come back on, Bliss is in the ring. Charlotte goes, "Obviously you want something, Alexa, what is it?" Bliss pointed to the title. Charlotte goes, "You want a title match? Fine. But this isn't your playground, it's mine." People, if you thought Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie was bad, if you thought that Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax was bad, man, you haven't seen it. You have not seen it. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair are two of the worst entities in the Raw Women's division as we speak. Anyone who even remotely supports them, I don't give a shit who the fuck you are, anyone who even remotely supports Alexa or Charlotte, I have absolutely no respect for you. You should be fucking ashamed of yourself. These two are the absolute opposite of what women's wrestling should be. Charlotte Flair is an entitled cunt, and Alexa Bliss is a woman who can't even run the fucking ropes correctly. She hasn't run the fucking ropes correctly in 4 fucking years. It's like she got worse as time went on. This match is gonna suck, this feud's gonna suck, and this show sucks. Kira Tozawa and Reggie, the 24/7 championship, flipping senton for the win. Who gives a shit? R-Truth came running out to face Reggie. Catering crew emptied. Jeff Hardy was one of them, by the way, as well. Jeff Hardy was one of them. And I know a lot of people were trying to tell me that Jeff Hardy deserves better. Yeah, he beat Karrion Kross 2 months ago. And then 2 months later, oh no, chasing around the 24/7 title. What a fucking joke. So Reggie dove onto the pile. He got out of dodge. Drake Maverick was behind him. Truth went up to Maverick and she goes, this is my show and that's my baby. Good seeing you, but your timing is bad. I don't know why Drake Maverick is back, but holy shit, we are not going to find any entertainment in Drake Maverick chasing around the 24/7 title. It's a joke. It's a joke. Tag team turmoil. I don't give a shit. I don't think anyone gives a shit. Lashley and MVP ended up winning the whole tag team turmoil. Afterwards, Omos chokeslammed Bobby Lashley, and then Orton came in with an RKO. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Show sucks. I don't even want to review the rest. I legitimately don't even want to review the rest of the weekly shows. But I gotta. I don't want to review the rest of the weekly shows, but I gotta. Let's check the chat. How you doing, Furious Nation? Please make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already done so. I see Bob Frapples likes the Nia Flapjacks line. How you doing, Cameron Johnson? How you doing, Leo? How you doing? Be sure to get Wanston in here. I don't know where Wanston is, but he should get his daily dose of DJ Storms. I legitimately don't even want to review the rest of the show. I don't even want to review the rest of the weekly shows. I do not even want to continue, but I'm going to. I'm going to for you guys. So we had NXT, and we just hit 20 likes. You guys are fucking awesome. You guys are fucking amazing. Thank you very much. So, NXT. Not a bad show. Not a terrible show, but I don't know if you guys felt this, but there was just an overall depressing vibe around NXT this week. It's almost like they knew that next week starts this new era, and next week starts the death of NXT. And it's sad. It's sad. It really is sad. We got some decent wrestling on the show. I'm not going to say we got some shitty wrestling on the show. We did get some decent wrestling, but at the end of the day, it almost means nothing. It legitimately almost means nothing. I don't even know. I don't even know what you guys want me to say. It honestly is sad. It honestly is sad to see where NXT was 2-3 years ago versus where NXT is now. And there was just an overall depressing vibe around the show. Everyone knew that next week it's over. NXT is dead. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what you say. NXT is completely fucking dead. No one is going to give a shit. NXT was nearly under 600,000 viewers this week. There's no other way to even describe it. NXT is dead. That is not opinion, that is fact. And you're going to have to get it through your fucking head, people. The show wasn't necessarily a terrible show, but it was just so tough to get invested. It was just so tough to get interested because of how much the brand has just been tarnished. I don't even know what else to say. So Kaylee Ray took on Ember Moon to begin the show. Very good women's match. Probably the last women's match that you will see. Like this in NXT. Because I don't think we'll ever see another women's match that was as good as this one. Kaylee Ray and Ember Moon kicked off the show. This was actually a very good match for what it was. Moon mounted a comeback with a corner splash and a diving code breaker for a 2. We had a crossface locked in, but Ray reversed it and slung Ember into the turnbuckle. We had Kaylee Ray with a super kick. Moon then put Ray in the Tree of Woe position. Moon then with a kick right to the head. That looked nasty. Looked like it really stunned Kaylee Ray. Moon then dumped Ray to the floor. Moon with a suicide dive. Ray then took advantage with a senton bomb off the top for a 2. Moon then delivered a modified one-winged angel. Like a over-the-top one-winged angel for a 2 count. Actually looked very, very nice. You have to go back and watch it. Kaylee Ray then hit the gory bomb for the win, and that was pretty much that. This was actually a very good match for what it was, and I can absolutely see Kaylee Ray as the woman to take the title off of Raquel Gonzalez, when the time is right, of course. We had a bachelorette party with Indy Hartwell and the NXT roster. Indy, she toasted to Candice. Candice said that Dexter is strange and creepy, but now I realize that Dexter really loves Indy, so here's to Indy and Dexter. Now, the bachelorette party really wasn't anything because the friends, quote-unquote, of Indy Hartwell, the friends, quote-unquote, with Indy Hartwell, weren't really friends. They were just there because of Disney. They were just there for the food. They were just there because of the nice weather, whatever it may be. They weren't there to celebrate Indy Hartwell and Dexter Lumis's engagement or wedding. So this shit was actually terrible. This shit was completely fucking terrible. Afterwards, Indy and Candice said that they're going to go spy on Dexter's bachelor party. So that was later on in the show. This wedding is a complete fucking waste of time. It's going to be terrible. Pro wrestling weddings absolutely suck. And they should be eradicated immediately. Carmelo Hayes took on Santos Escobar. This was another very good match. I could watch these two fight all night long. These two are fantastic pro wrestlers. Elektra Lopez, let me tell you something. Elektra Lopez, she was not going anywhere on her own. She looks great standing beside Legado del Fantasma. She looks like a new fucking woman. She looks like a woman that could be taken seriously. I'm liking what they're doing with Elektra Lopez standing side by side with Legado del Fantasma. She looks incredible. So, Elektra Lopez, she looks great, like I said, alongside Legado del Fantasma. Santos Escobar took over with a snap DDT on Hayes for a 2. Escobar shoved Hayes off the apron into the announce table. Coming back from commercial, Escobar with a Hurricane Rana off the middle rope for a 2. Hayes came back with a springboard guillotine leg drop, which looked good. Hayes then with a springboard clothesline, a big knee, and an elevated cutter for a 2. Hayes then with a code breaker and a tilt-a-whirl facebuster for a 2. Hayes with a DDT on the apron. Raul then distracted the referee, and Elektra Lopez body slammed Carmelo Hayes onto the floor. Hayes then got back in the ring. Escobar took advantage and hit the Phantom Driver for the 1, 2, 3. Very good match. Santos Escobar gets the win, and it looks like Santos Escobar is going to be the next in line for Isaiah Swerve Scott. I don't know when the match is going to take place. I'm still waiting for the match to take place. It should have happened already. I don't know why it didn't. It's been a very slow build. But it looks like we will be getting Santos Escobar versus Isaiah Swerve Scott for the North American Championship. I don't know what's going to happen to them. I really don't. I don't. Next week, which is actually pretty shocking, we got Tommaso Ciampa, Pete Dunne, Kyle O'Reilly, and LA Knight. This is a fatal 4-way match. Winner will face Samoa Joe for the NXT Championship. I actually like this Fatal 4-Way, and I actually do believe that LA Knight is going to get the win. I do believe LA Knight will get the win, and LA Knight is going to be the first challenger of Joe. And I say that because I really just don't see LA Knight hanging around in NXT for the rest of the year. I don't. LA Knight, he's main roster bound. LA Knight, he is absolutely going to be on the main roster in the draft. LA Knight's going to get the win, he's going to lose to Joe, and then he's going to get drafted. The draft, reportedly, according to Andrew Zarian, that's happening, I believe, between October 1st and October 5th, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. But, we'll see what happens there. That's just a little tidbit of information to watch out for. We had Julius and Brutus Creed. The Creed brothers, they took on a couple of jobbers. I did not get their name. The Creed brothers just destroyed these jobbers. Forearm to the face and a pinfall win. They looked fine, but at the end of the fucking day, no one is going to be invested in the same stereotypical big guys doing the same fucking thing over and over again. It's 2021. It's not 1992. So at the end of the fucking day, the Creed brothers, they're just guys that, yeah, the new version of NXT is going to push, but they're not guys that are going to connect well because no one is looking for these big, meaty muscle heads anymore. Plain and simple. Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter, they took on Zoe Stark and Io Shirai for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. Again, another very good match. I'm not going to discredit these four women. These four women did excellent. Zoe Stark's very good. Io Shirai's fantastic. I adore Casey. I adore the hell out of Casey Catanzaro. I love Casey. But at the end of the day, the NXT Women's Tag Team division, it's dead. The NXT Women's Tag Team titles are not necessary. And these NXT Women's Tag Team titles, whether people want to admit it or not, these NXT Women's Tag Team titles are not going to enhance the show at all. The Women's Tag Team titles should have been the titles that you should be floating between each brand. Same thing with the Tag Team titles, the Cruiserweight title, and the Women's Championship. At least on Raw and SmackDown. But these NXT Women's Tag Team titles, just completely unnecessary. And it was a very good match, but at the end of the day, whoever the next challengers are, the NXT Women's Tag Team division is just non-existent. Candice LeRae's pregnant, so the way, they're not challenging for the titles. Shotzi Blackheart's on Monday Night Raw. Not Monday Night Raw, SmackDown. Who fucking cares? It's the same fucking thing. Shotzi's on SmackDown, excuse me. The only tag teams that you got are Gigi Dolan, JC Jane, Casey and Caden, and then Zoe and Io. 3 tag teams. 3 tag teams is not a fucking division. You're not going to generate any fucking interest with only 3 tag teams in the women's tag team division. Women's tag team titles should not be a thing. Impact Wrestling's been the only promotion that's done women's tag team titles correctly. But the match itself was very good. So, Caden Carter came in with a dropkick splash combination. We had a super kick to Zoe Stark for a 2. Stark then with a spinning heel kick to Carter. Io came in, hit a 619 and a missile dropkick for a 2. Casey tagged herself in, hit a back suplex moonsault combo. That got a 2 count. We had a German suplex to Carter by Shirai. Tag to Stark. Stark with a roundhouse kick. Stark accidentally knocked Io off the apron. Carter tried to take advantage with an assisted splash by Carter and Casey off the top. Io dropkicked Caden onto Casey, breaking up the pin. We had a back suplex GTS and the over the moonsault by Io, and they retain the NXT Women's Tag Team titles in a very good match. A very good match. Afterwards, Gigi Dolan and JC Jane came out and attacked Casey and Caden. They were standing up on the apron with Mandy Rose, who was wearing a face mask. So it looks like we have our next set of challengers, and it looks like Gigi Dolan and JC Jane could very well take the titles. That was pretty much it. Afterwards, we had Dexter Lumis and his bachelor party. Now this was actually fairly entertaining, I will not lie. this was actually fairly entertaining. So, Dexter Lumis had his bachelor party. Cameron Grimes, was covering for it. He made a truce with Dexter Lumis. We had a zombie ref, Odyssey Jones, Drake Maverick, and Johnny Gargano all coming to the bachelor party. They went into I don't know what it was. I guess it was like an adult version of Fun Time Junction or something like that. But Lumis helped Gargano throw an axe properly. Of course, Lumis has experience throwing an axe. We had a go-kart racing, which Gargano won. Odyssey Jones. Now Odyssey Jones, this was actually entertaining right here. Cameron Grimes bet Odyssey Jones on the trampoline park that he can't send Maverick to the moon. And Odyssey Jones, he started jumping on the trampoline park, and I was literally watching, and you can see Maverick mouth, "Oh shit," as Odyssey Jones was jumping towards him. That was actually pretty funny. Then we had laser tag, and Lumis was choking out the laser tag guys as Johnny was tagging him. That was actually very entertaining. Nice little bonding moment. And I will say this was certainly going to be better than anything that we see on the wedding next week. This segment alone will be better than anything that we see in the wedding next week for Indy Hartwell and Dexter Lumis. Just pointing it out there. Next week, we also got Frankie Monet taking on Raquel Gonzalez for the NXT Women's Championship. Not the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship, but the NXT Women's Championship. NXT Women's Championship, Frankie Monet versus Raquel Gonzalez. Interested to see what Frankie Monet brings to the table. Mei Ying took on Virginia Ferry. Mei Ying, I didn't know we got a female fiend in NXT. Tongan Death Grip and Mei Ying choked out Virginia Ferry for the pinfall win. Who gives a shit? No one gives a shit about Tian Sha and Mei Ying. No one gives a shit. Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, they took on MSK for the NXT Tag Team titles. Another good match. Again, we did get some good wrestling on the show. So I'm not going to completely shit on NXT as a whole. But again, there was just an overall depressing vibe and no one gave a shit because the brand is just dead. But this was a good match. This was a good tag team match. MSK were in control early before Burch and Lorcan took over. They wore down Nash Carter before Wes Lee got the hot tag. We had a big drop kick to Lorcan and a German suplex for a 2. Wes Lee with a moonsault onto Burch. Lorcan then took out Lee. Carter then was locked in an ankle lock, and Burch locked in the crossface. Both submissions were broken up. All 4 men were down. All 4 men were then trading strike after strike. We had a super kick to Burch, and then MSK hit the blockbuster heart attack to retain. I knew that they would retain because the grizzled young veterans are going to be the individuals that are going to take the titles off of MSK. Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland, afterwards, they laid out Lorcan and Burch. It's almost like they excommunicated Lorcan and Burch from the faction. And it seems like they are getting set to be released. Earl Cole, listen to me. I love you, dude, but it is not evolving. NXT is not evolving. NXT is dead. This is not the evolution of NXT, and I'm sick and tired of everyone trying to tell you that it is. It is not the evolution. NXT was just fine as it was. 2-3 years ago, NXT was the best program in the entire wrestling industry. NXT is not evolving. This is a de-evolution of NXT. No, nothing was wrong with the black and gold logo. Nothing was wrong with how NXT was run before. All this is NXT now becoming Monday Night Raw light. Stop with the, this is evolution of NXT. No, it's not. This is Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard destroying the brand. Triple H has not been in charge of NXT for the last fucking year. This new tie-dye shit, it is not evolution at all. This is taking the very essence of NXT and fucking destroying it. This is taking what NXT was before, the best wrestling promotion on the planet. NXT 3 years ago is what AEW is doing right now. NXT now is Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Light. NXT is fucking dead. Doesn't matter what you think, doesn't matter what you say, no evolution this, no evolution that. NXT is dead. Fact, not opinion, fact. End of conversation. That was NXT for you. And I lost my fucking voice. My fucking throat hurts now. I can imagine Dee Dee loves the fact that I'm screaming into the camera. There's your birthday present, Dee Dee. Me screaming into the camera and my vein popping out of my forehead. Holy shit. Evolution of NXT. Give me a break. I didn't know this was Comedy Hour. Evolution of NXT. Yeah, sure. What did they need to evolve? What the fuck did they need to evolve? NXT was perfect as it was. Jesus. You're gonna go away now, Earl. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Earl. Truth is the truth. Truth is the truth. Someone needed to say it. Anyway. Holy shit. And I have a fucking headache. I have a fucking headache. Man, I'm making more enemies than I am friends. How about that? Making more fucking enemies than I am friends. Anyway. We got AEW Dynamite to review. And this was an excellent follow-up show. They followed up beautifully to what we got at All Out. And this was a very, very, very solid show that really set the foundation of what you all should be excited about going forward. You should really be excited about what's going on with AEW going forward. See, while NXT is killing the brand, evolution. Evolution. Sure. Well, NXT has been destroyed and they are completely dead in the water. AEW is continuing to rise up to the top. And pretty soon they're going to be taking over the professional wrestling industry. So AEW Dynamite kicked off with Malachi Black, who is one of my favorite acts in all of AEW. Malachi Black took on Dustin Rhodes. And Malachi Black was a solid match. Solid match here. The Black Mass clearly missed, or the Sin Eater, as Malachi Black calls it, the quote-unquote Sin Eater. The Sin Eater missed. It hit Dustin Rhodes in the shoulder, not in the head. But I will say this was still a good match for what it was. Dustin, he kept the aggression on Black right out of the gate. Black came back with a back suplex through the timekeeper's table. He tried to wear down Dustin. He was having problems with his left leg. Black was laughing, and he goes, "Are you not entertained?" So that was very, very entertaining by Mr. Malachi Black. Dustin came back with a power slam for a 2. He then delivered the 10 punches into the corner. Black with a kick to the knee, and then he hit a V-trigger right to the head for a 2 count. Dustin then was tossed Cody's boot. Malachi Black took Cody's boot out from underneath the ring, and he gave it to Dustin. Dustin then became unhinged. He hit a Canadian Destroyer for a near fall. Black then ripped off the turnbuckle. Dustin sent into the turnbuckle Sin Eater right to the shoulder, not to the face, but to the shoulder. And Malachi Black gets the win as he should. Solid match to kick off the show, but that ending really just felt flat. I'm not sure what they were going for. I'm not sure if Dustin was off or he was out of position or something like that, but it didn't really look good. It didn't look good at all. Apparently, it was confirmed. It was confirmed that we do indeed have Cody taking on Malachi Black. Cody's taking on Malachi Black in Arthur Ashe Stadium. So they're building up to match number 2. And I know a lot of people out there, including myself, they're afraid that Mr. Cody's going to take the spotlight and he's going to get the win over Malachi Black. I'm telling you right now, Cody, if you're watching this, if anyone from AEW is watching this, do not give Cody the win. Cody cannot get the win. I don't give a shit who you are. I don't give a shit what you say. Cody cannot get the win. He can't. Cody needs to lose. He can put up a great fight. It can be a competitive match. But Cody needs to lose. End of story. CM Punk came out next to speak. Punk took the mic, and he goes, "We're going to get right to it. I want to thank Darby, Sting, and all of you. I didn't know if I had what it took, but it's like riding a violent bicycle." The crowd chanted, "You still got it." Punk then hyped up Minoru Suzuki versus Jon Moxley later on in the night. Punk then talked about the names that signed with AEW: Ruby Soho, Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson. Crowd went insane. He goes, "My wife texted me and said, 'Baby, what's next? What's next for CM Punk?'" So the crowd started chanting this and that and this and that. All of a sudden, Taz took the mic and he said, "Give me just a second. You want to be a tough guy? I'm tired of all this bullshit love fest you are doing. Don't you ever mention any of the members of Team Taz." Punk said, "Nobody mentioned Team Taz." Taz goes, "Yeah, you did. You were mentioning them in interviews and radio shows." Punk then said, "Send Starks. Send Hook. Send me Hobbs. Beat me if you can. Survive if I let you." So that was an old Taz line when Taz was in not WCW, ECW. When Taz was in ECW, that was an old Taz line when he was a consistent performer in ECW. So it looks like we could be getting CM Punk going into a program with Team Taz. I love Punk versus Starks. I'd love me some Punk versus Starks. I think that would be an awesome match. Go for Punk versus Starks. So I'm definitely liking what they're doing with CM Punk right now. They're just slowly easing him in. Because sooner rather than later, CM Punk is going to have to start taking a lot of bumps, and he's going to have to start taking a lot of the brunt of the punishment from his opponents. So I like the fact that they're just easing Punk into these storylines. I think a match with Punk and Starks, that's going to be something that a lot of people did not know that they need until they actually see it. Ruby Soho and Britt Baker, they had a promo backstage. Ruby said, "I helped Britt Baker break into the industry. This used to be your block, but this is my block now." Baker said, "You call yourself the Runaway. Why don't you run away to Catering where you spent the last 4 years of your life?" And when I heard that, I swear to God, I laughed my fucking ass off. I laughed my ass off. This was great. Great fucking line. And let me tell you something. This is going to help Ruby Soho get even more over than she already is. Baker, we already know how good Britt Baker is, but I think this is actually going to be the first time that Britt Baker is in a position where she is not the most over individual. Now the most over individual is going to be her opponent, and in this case, it's going to be Ruby Soho. So Ruby then went to Shivani, and she goes, "I know she's your girl, but I'm going to whoop her ass." Awesome. Awesome stuff right there. The promo work on Dynamite, the promo work was fucking awesome. Really. We had Powerhouse Hobbs. He took on Dante Martin. Decent little match for what it was. And I gotta say, I'm really liking Hobbs. I'm really liking what Hobbs is doing, and I'm really liking how they're presenting Hobbs. He's really come into his own. I'm liking his attire, his Harlem Heat-esque attire. Powerhouse Hobbs is doing some good shit, I will say. Powerhouse Hobbs is doing some good shit. So, Hobbs and Dante Martin, they were going back and forth. Martin got slammed into the post by Hobbs. Dante Martin was getting swung around like a fucking ragdoll. We had a standing swanton bomb by Dante Martin after a missile drop kick. That got a 2. Dante, then with a punt kick. Hook got in the way of Dante. Dante jumped over Hook with a tope con hero onto Hobbs. Dante then kept the aggression on Hobbs. Hobbs came back with a massive fucking spine buster for the win. Looked great. Hobbs gets the win as he should. Dante Martin, very, very happy to see Dante Martin getting the showcase. Dante Martin looks great. Dante Martin looks great. Dan Lambert, he cut another promo with Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, Men of the Year. I'm liking what Dan Lambert's doing as well. And I can absolutely see the Men of the Year as a challenger for the Lucha Bros, possibly at Full Gear. I think that would be a great tag team match between the two. MJF came out with Wardlow. He was obviously pissed, was MJF. And he goes, cut my music. Let me explain something to you. Prior to Sunday, I beat that stumbling schmuck Chris Jericho 3 times, and I beat him a 4th. But after the match, it was restarted because of bias against me. Everyone wants to be me. No one understands because all of you are from Shit-Cincinnati. I laughed. It's called the Midwest because every single thing in it is mid. He goes, how about you jump the guardrail so I can beat the hell out of everyone? And he goes, hey, look who's here. Look who's sitting in the front row. He called out Linda Pillman, Aunt Linda. And he said, Brian Pillman's daughter. MJF goes, I can see where you get your vile looks from. So afterwards, Brian Pillman Jr. came out, and Pillman goes, Maxwell Jerkoff Friedman, we all know you had a great silver spoon upbringing, but I'm from a city that breeds badasses. I'm Brian Pillman Jr. from the streets of Cincinnati. Welcome to the jungle. MJF then goes, so you thought it was a good idea to go toe-to-toe on the mic with MJF? You know, your drug-addicted mother, Methany... Oh, no, I'm sorry. I mean, Melanie. She could have birthed 500 different second-generation superstars, but unfortunately, she didn't do to you what she should have done with the other prospects, and that's swallow. I mean, I thought that MJF couldn't outdo himself. I'm sitting there laughing my ass off going, holy shit, MJF being the best fucking heel in the business. I love this shit. He then told Wardlow to go sit in the corner and look pretty. I'm telling you, when Wardlow turns on MJF, Wardlow's going to be a fucking star. So MJF then goes, how about I do what she should have done to you years ago, and that is abort. Now, he was about to say abort, but Pillman ended up fighting MJF, and we actually saw Wardlow just in the corner, letting MJF getting beat for a little bit. Afterwards, Griff Garrison came out, MJF hit him with the ring, and that was pretty much that. What a great fucking segment. What a great segment. How can you not love MJF? And this is great because of the simple fact that MJF, he is just so good at what he does. And people thought that he was going to be ruined after his loss to Chris Jericho. People were worried about him losing to Chris Jericho at All Out. I'm telling you, people, he's going to be just fucking fine. He's going to be just fine. So, MJF, the fact that MJF is in this scenario, he's already a made man. And you know, Hibiki, he said something to me on the rundown for All Out 2021. He said, and I quote, Orange Cassidy doesn't need a championship. Now, I said he deserves one, and I do believe that he will get one, but he told me that Orange Cassidy doesn't need a championship. I actually have to agree with him there. And on top of that, I'm going to tell you right now that MJF doesn't need a championship. He deserves one, and he will get one in due time. But MJF, he doesn't need a championship. MJF is a made man. That's how good he is on the microphone. MJF can get anyone over as a babyface because he is just that damn hated. And I love it. I love it. And I'm telling you right now, Brian Pillman Jr. is going to be made into a fucking superstar in Arthur Ashe Stadium when he faces MJF. Just watch. We got Ruby Soho taking on Jamie Hayter. This was okay for what it was, but it really wasn't all that special. It was stiff. But really it wasn't all that special. This was just Ruby pretty much gaining some more momentum and really gaining some wins behind her belt before we inevitably get the match with Britt Baker. This was mainly the setup. What you're seeing now with Ruby Soho, this is the setup to what we are going to get with Britt Baker and Ruby Soho. And I do believe that we're going to get this match in Arthur Ashe Stadium. So Soho, with a super kick barrage and a swinging DDT for a 2. Soho and Baker had a little bit of a slip-up. Ruby went for a reverse Rana, but it ended up turning into a head-trapped driver. Ruby Soho and Jamie Hayter, they played it off very well, though. It was a clear-cut botch, but they played it off very well. Hayter then with a sliding elbow for a 2. Ruby then hit the Soho kick for the 1-2-3 win. Afterwards, Rebel and Baker attacked Ruby afterwards. Riho came in to help. She got dropped by Jamie Hayter, and Chris Statlander came out with a chair to save Riho and Ruby. And that was pretty much it. Really nothing special. It was mainly just a setup and mainly an enhancement match to get Ruby Soho more over before we inevitably get to the Ruby Soho versus Britt Baker match. And I'm glad that Ruby's getting the opportunity. Shawn Spears and FTR versus the Dark Order. This was quick. This was effective. This really wasn't anything. The important thing with this match is what happened after the match. So the Dark Order was in control early before the Pinnacle came back. Brainbuster by Silver on Dax. Spears and Cash then took out Uno and Grayson. Silver then tried to light up everyone, but we ended up getting a C4 by Shawn Spears, and Shawn Spears got the win. And this was quick, this was effective, plain and simple. Afterwards, we get a big brawl within the Dark Order. A big brawl within the Dark Order, and I'm telling you right now, this is not a fucking coincidence. It's not. This is not a coincidence. This is a gateway. This is a gateway for Wyndham Rotunda to come on in, and he is going to get the Dark Order back in shape. Wyndham Rotunda being the new Exalted One, I'm telling you right now, he is going to abso-fucking-lutely get the Dark Order back on track, make the Dark Order a big-time stable, and he is going to do Brody Lee fucking proud. Mark my words. This is a gateway for Wyndham Rotunda. Tony Schiavone was in the ring. He interviewed the Elite. All of them came out, but not Adam Cole. Not yet, at least. Don Callis, he took the microphone. He hyped up Omega, being voted number 1 with Pro Wrestling Industry Illustrated 500. Which, I mean, I'm not going to fault Kenny Omega at that because, hey, he was the collector of belts all year. So you know what? I think he deserves it. He said the belts were stolen from the Bucks. Nick Jackson then introduced Adam Cole. He came out, did his Adam Cole Bebe shtick. Adam Cole then goes up to Tony Schiavone. He goes to Tony Schiavone and he goes, look, I know you're close with Britt Baker, but if you even look at her the wrong way, I'll slap those stupid glasses off your face. Now get out of our ring, you nerd. Gotta love Adam Cole. So Cole goes, All Elite Wrestling, the greatest pro wrestling company in the world. Because of the guys in this ring. I've been elite for a very long time, and I'm with the very best. You should be thanking us. Now the elite is complete, baby. Omega said, one thing I despise is interruption. And before he could even finish his sentence, Bryan Danielson made his way out. Crowd was chanting yes. He made his way out to the ring. Omega then asked if he could have some room. So the elite got out of the ring. And he goes, hey Bryan, don't worry, I don't bite. You're just the guy I wanted to speak with. Bryan then took the mic and he goes, do you want to see Bryan Danielson fight Kenny Omega? Oh, wait a second, I'm sorry, he's telling me that that's not how it works over here. No, you talk about how everyone is not on your level, but you're afraid to take this match because you know I'm better than you, and you're not on my level. Bryan then went for the LaBelle Lock, and the Elite swarmed them before Jurassic Express, Frankie Kazarian, and Christian Cage came out to save Bryan. The baby faces ended up standing tall. Very nice segment, and it's getting everyone excited for the inevitable Bryan versus Omega match that is to come in the near future. I can't wait for it. Next week, we got a nice show, which, by the way, I will be there. I'm going to be there, so for anyone who's going to the All Elite Wrestling show in Newark, New Jersey, please make sure you hit me up. I'm going to be there. Earl Cole's going to be there. Top Rope Squishy, I know she's going to be there as well. Please make sure, if you haven't gotten your tickets, get your tickets. I will be there. I will be doing a vlog. I will be doing exclusive pictures, and I will be handing out free DJ Storm's wristbands. So please make sure you get your tickets because I'm going to be there live in attendance. You are not going to want to miss it. And, of course, we got Adam Cole debuting next week against Frankie Kazarian. We got Jamie Hayter, Rebel, Britt Baker, Chris Statlander, Ruby Soho, and Riho. This was a 6-woman tag that we are going to get on Rampage, which already happened. Max Caster and Brian Pillman Jr. we got on Rampage. Next week we got Jade Cargill and Layla Hirsch and Darby Allin versus Shawn Spears. And we did get the confirmation of Cody versus Malachi in Arthur Ashe Stadium. Main event was Jon Moxley versus Minoru Suzuki. Fun little match. Really nothing all that crazy. It only went about 8 minutes, but it was a fun little match. I expected Jon Moxley to win his homecoming, and he did. They started out trading strikes back and forth early. Suzuki got in a forehead bite. Moxley, he got a forehead bite as well. Headbutt after headbutt. Crowd was chanting, this is awesome. Suzuki then with a rear naked choke. Moxley stopped the Gotch-style pile driver. Moxley hit 2 paradigm shifts, but Suzuki kicked out. Suzuki was bleeding above his eye. Suzuki would not go down. Suzuki hit a drop kick. Moxley came back with a straight punch to the head and a paradigm shift. 1, 2, 3. Moxley wins his debut, or excuse me, his homecoming rather. And then he went into the crowd to soak up the hometown reaction. And that was pretty much that. This Dynamite was excellent. This Dynamite was perfectly booked. And this Dynamite had a lot of things, including Bryan and Kenny, Adam Cole, Ruby Soho, CM Punk, and Team Taz mixing it up, MJF and Brian Pillman. A lot of things that everyone should be excited for. A lot of good things are coming. A lot of good things. So, ribeye steak. Dee Dee was talking about a ribeye steak that she just had. I actually had some slider burgers for lunch today. They were very good as well. We got 22 likes, 8 people watching. Thank you to everyone who has been sticking with me for the last 2+ hours. You guys are fantastic. We got 3 more weekly shows to review, and then we're going to get on out of here. I'm going to relax. I'm probably going to go to work, get my check. I got to check my schedule to see if I'm working tomorrow. But we got a lot more to go over. A couple more to go over. We got NXT UK, which really wasn't anything. NXT UK was a very lackluster show this week. Pretty much just a setup show for what is to come next week. Next week looks like we got a bigger show. But NXT UK this week was very, very skippable. All they did was mainly replay the Walter versus Dragunov match. We did get 2 matches, but they really weren't all that exciting. We got a solid opening match. It was Wolfgang and Sam Gradwell. This was a first-round NXT UK Heritage Cup #1 Contenders Tournament. They were hard-hitting in the first round. There were no falls scored in the first round, actually. I'm not really too big of a fan. Of these British rounds matches. I'm not really sure how you guys feel. I'm not really sure who's watching NXT UK. I'm not really sure how you guys feel. Sometimes the British rounds matches are good. Sometimes they're not. I'm not sure how you guys feel. They're okay. But I don't really like the stop and start and the stop and start. It's just not for me. It just reminds me too much of boxing. And I'm not a boxing guy. But they were hard-hitting in the first round. No falls were scored in the first round. Wolfgang then picked up the pace with a diving axe handle and a modified senton. Gradwell then slapped Wolfgang, and he got out of the ring, playing some mind games. We go into the third round. No falls were scored. Gradwell then hit a knee with the knee brace that he had, and then he hit a nice STO, and he scored the first fall in the third round. Gradwell then targeted the injured shoulder of Wolfgang. Wolfgang came back with an elevated cutter to even up the falls. Fifth round started. We had some heavy strikes back and forth. Wolfgang ended up connecting with the spear, and he won the match. Wolfgang advanced to take on Teoman in the second round. And next week, we actually got Kenny Williams versus Noam Dar. This is an NXT UK Heritage Cup semifinals match. I actually think that Kenny Williams is going to win the whole thing. If you want my honest take, I honestly believe that Kenny Williams is going to win the whole tournament. And we're going to see Kenny Williams take that NXT UK Heritage Cup off of Tyler Bate. Blair Davenport, a.k.a. B. Priestley, she actually got suspended. She got suspended from NXT UK for attacking Sid Scala. Not really sure what's going to go down there, but we'll see. Next week, we also got Pretty Deadly taking on Mark and Joe Coffey of Dallas for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Can't wait to see what is going to go down there. I do not see Dallas winning the titles. I actually think that Pretty Deadly are going to continue their reign. We actually had Symbiosis versus Saxon Huxley, Ashton Smith, and Oliver Carter in the main event. Fun little match, but at the end of the day, I gotta be honest with you. Symbiosis, they're a jobber faction. They're literally a jobber tag team. You know what Symbiosis reminds me of on NXT UK? Symbiosis legitimately reminds me of the Hardy Family Office in AEW. Like, who gives a shit? Who cares? It really just means nothing. It really just means nothing at the end of the day. And I legitimately do not give a single shit about anything that Symbiosis does. They lost. They legitimately lost. So they lost here. Fun little match. Really nothing interesting about it. It was just a decent wrestling match. NXT UK really wasn't all that spectacular. I believe next week should be a lot better. We got Kenny Williams and Noam Dar, and we got Pretty Deadly versus Gallus. Should be a decent show next week. That was NXT UK for you. We got 2 more shows to go over. Danielle, thank you for joining. I'm glad that I could make your birthday memorable. We do not have 24 likes. We only have 23. That's what I'm seeing. But if you could, please make sure you're sharing out the stream, people. I know that some people have already done that. But we're going to need more. We're going to need more because we want to get to at least 30 likes. Please make sure you're sharing out the stream. We got 2 more shows to go over, and then we are going to get on out of here, and I'm going to go and relax. So, we got none other we got none other than SmackDown. We got SmackDown. Now, I will say this. I was not expecting anything. I was not expecting anything going into the SmackDown show. Actually, hang on a minute. I actually got some news. Apparently, Wrestling Observer Newsletter just gave us an update on Sami's contract. Apparently, Sami's contract is not expiring in the fall of this year. Sami's contract, Sami Zayn, is expiring on July 31st, 2022. So if anyone is wondering, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, both of their contracts are expiring in 2022. We could be looking at El Generico, and Kevin Steen in AEW. I want you guys to make sure you know that that is unfucking precedented. So, SmackDown, I really wasn't expecting anything from SmackDown, but we ended up getting a very good show. Not even gonna lie, SmackDown was very good. But here's the problem. The main problem with SmackDown right now is the fact that you don't have a fucking roster. The SmackDown roster legitimately has only 29 fucking active wrestlers on it. The SmackDown roster is fucking depleted. There is legitimately no fucking roster on the show. I don't even know what to tell you. SmackDown is a great wrestling show when booked correctly, but you're not going to be able to book the show correctly if you're booking the same fucking people on the show every week. I'm telling you right now, if SmackDown was booked correctly and we actually had different fresh faces on the show every week like we do AEW and AEW Dynamite and Rampage, we would not be complaining. We would not be complaining. I don't even know what to tell you here. This was a very good show, but WWE needs to get the head in the game. It's time that they need to combine the rosters. They need to combine Raw. They need to combine the SmackDown rosters. You need to talk to Fox, talk to USA Network about the quality of the show, get the ratings back up there with combined rosters, do whatever you need to do. You need to improve the quality of your show. This right here is a once-in-a-lifetime scenario for WWE to put on a decent show. We got a decent show, but it's not going to be consistent. We're going to get the same show next week. And a lot of the matches that we get on Extreme Rules, they're just going to be rematches from what we see on weekly television. It's sad. It honestly is sad. But the overall SmackDown show was very good. Roman, the Usos, and Paul Heyman kicked off the show. Roman said, when it comes to sports entertainment, WWE runs New York City. Roman, sports entertainment is a fucking farce. Sports entertainment sucks. Sports entertainment is a cancer. Pro wrestling is where it's at. He goes, the Tribal Chief and the Bloodline run WWE, and that means the Tribal Chief runs New York City and Madison Square Garden. MSG, acknowledge me. All of a sudden, Brock Lesnar comes out, looking like he's ready to axe some wood. Brock Lesnar looking like he just came right out of the backwoods of Saskatchewan with the lumberjack coat. So Lesnar came in and stared down Roman. The Usos jumped in front of him. Heyman goes, listen, Brock, of all the championships that we could go after, why the Universal title? Brock then took the mic. He goes, I got a question for you, Paul. Why didn't you tell Roman I was going to be at SummerSlam? The crowd, now they bleeped this out, but the crowd was clearly chanting, you fucked up, to Paul Heyman. Roman then took the title from Heyman, and the Bloodline left the ring. Heyman then took the mic, and he goes, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and for 20 years I was the advocate for the reigning, defending, undisputed WWE Heavyweight Champion of the World, Brock Lesnar. So Lesnar goes, just like all times, Paul, just like all times. But before Roman Reigns fires you, accept my challenge. My shot at Roman Reigns for the Universal title. You got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. Brock Lesnar picked up Paul Heyman. He was going for the F5, but Roman came back with the Usos to save Heyman. Brock then took care of the Usos, sent them to Suplex City as Roman Reigns retreated. And this was an excellent start to SmackDown Live. I absolutely loved the fact that Roman and the Usos walked away from Paul Heyman when Paul Heyman realized that he did indeed fuck up. I also love the fact that Paul Heyman, he did not accept Brock Lesnar's challenge. He was hesitant, and that is a key factor that shows you that he is actually in favor of Roman. That's what I love about this. The story that was told, excellent. And I was not too keen on a Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns feud. But after what we got, let me tell you something. I absolutely loved what we got. It was excellent. Excellently done. We had Apollo Crews, Sami Zayn, Robert Roode, Dolph Ziggler, and Otis. They took on Rick Boogs, Shinsuke Nakamura, Big E, and the Mysterios. Sami, like the fucking heel that he is, brought out Trae Young in MSG. Sami is a national treasure. My God, do I love Sami. So coming back from commercial, Rey Mysterio with a sunset flip powerbomb on Sami for a 2. Boogs came in. He took out Apollo. Otis took out Boogs. Everyone started taking out everyone. Sami then tripped up Rey. Trae Young actually got involved, and he choked out Rey on the ring rope. The ref caught this, and the ref ejected Trae Young. The Mysterios then with the double 619, Big E with the big ending, and that was pretty much it. Very typical 10-man tag. Fun little match, but very typical. Big E then cut a promo afterwards, which was very good, actually. He mentioned both Lashley and Reigns and said, if you have what I need, I'm coming for your neck. So I actually do hope that he does cash in on Bobby Lashley, because I don't think anyone is going to be beating Roman anytime soon. Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch, they came out to sign the contract. Belair came to the ring. Pierce and DeVille were in the ring. Bianca took the mic and she said, imagine me coming all this way, standing in Madison Square Garden. She goes, we all know how great Becky is, but one thing I respected most about Becky is that she would never run from a fight, but man, have things changed. Now I don't respect Becky as much as I used to, but at Extreme Rules, Becky can win some of my respect back while I win back my championship. Bianca Belair and these babyface promos are fucking terrible. Whoever is scripting Bianca Belair, you need to be terminated immediately. These promos suck. So, Becky came out after Bianca signed the contract. She was wearing sunglasses and a big red coat, trying to fucking be Conor fucking McGregor. Becky then goes, the original WrestleMania main eventer has arrived. You can be a fan or you can be the man. Maybe I would have beaten her here in 20 seconds, but we'll never know. But what if I didn't sign this? Maybe I don't want to sign it. Belair goes, sign the damn contract, Becky. The fans were chanting for her to sign it. Becky goes, I came back last minute, saved all of your asses, and this is how you treat me? You're favoring a flash in the pan over me? You know what? I'll give you your match. But this is going to end the same way. Becky then signed the contract, throws it at Bianca, and walks away. I don't even know where to begin as far as this goes. Becky Lynch has become, without a shadow of a fucking doubt, the biggest fucking tryhard. The biggest tryhard in the entire industry right now. She has been trying to just force this heel turn to a point where it just comes off as disingenuous. Nothing comes off as genuine at all. Nothing. Nothing comes off as real. Nothing comes off as organic. Everything is just forced. Everything is forced. None of this came off good at all. And the fact that Bianca's still playing a happy-go-lucky smiley baby face is just as bad. It's just as bad. Just like Stone Cold Steve Austin, this heel turn's gonna flop. It's absolutely going to flop. There's absolutely no fucking doubt about it. And Becky Lynch, the fact that she advocated for this heel turn, if she advocated for this heel turn and got it approved, but she could not get Bianca Belair not losing in 30 seconds approved, if you're telling me that she could not get that approved, if she got the fucking heel turn approved, she couldn't get Bianca going over approved, this just goes to show you that she is fucking selfless. Or selfish, rather. She is fucking selfish. She is selfish, she is manipulative, and she is no better than Charlotte Flair. And Bill, you know what? We're going to call her Becky Flair. From here on out, we're calling her Becky Flair. Becky Flair is the biggest fucking tryhard. Fucking unbelievable. Thankfully, Becky Flair was the only bad part about the show. We're gonna have to make a new code. Fuck Becky Lynch. Unreal. So, Edge versus Seth Rollins. This was actually the best part of the night. This was the best match of the week, actually, as well. For all the weekly shows. This match was awesome. Edge and Rollins. Part 2. Rollins was in control with a swift suicide dive on Edge coming back from commercial. Rollins then targeted the knee. Rollins then hit a very sloppy-looking glam slam, but Rollins actually recovered quite nicely and hit a much cleaner glam slam. That got a 2 count. Edge came back with a pedigree on Rollins for 2 in tribute to Triple H. We then had Edge coming back with a diving clothesline to the floor, coming back from a second commercial. Edge with a full Nelson slam for a 2. Edge then hit an execution. Rollins then, or not execution. He locked in the educator. I'm sorry. He locked in the educator. Rollins then broke the hold, sending Edge into the bottom buckle. Edge came back with the crossface. Rollins tried to break it, and he just got to the ropes. Edge then hit the execution. Then he went for the spear. Rollins countered with a spinning neck breaker. Edge came back with a spinning powerbomb for a 2. Rollins hit the buckle bomb on Edge. Rollins went for the stomp. Edge hit the spear. One arm over Rollins. Rollins kicked out. Rollins then hit a low blow behind the ref's back. And then he hit super kick after super kick. This was an awesome fucking ending right here. This ending was awesome. So Rollins was just hitting super kick after super kick after super kick. And he yells right into Edge's face. Edge would not go down. He goes, "Why won't you die?" He hits another super kick and hits the stomp. And he pins Edge 1, 2, 3 for the win. This was an excellent match. I would have to say better than their match at SummerSlam. Afterwards, Edge got carried out on a gurney into an ambulance. So it looks like we are setting up for that third match at Extreme Rules. And we are looking at Edge versus Rollins 3 at Extreme Rules. Rollins is going to win, and Rollins is going to be the next in line to face off against Roman after Roman gets done with Brock Lesnar. So that was an excellent match right there. And then in the main event, we had the Street Profits versus the Usos. This was for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Listen, I understand you wanted to make the show big, but you couldn't have done any other match. You really couldn't have done any other match other than this that would have been a good match, because we're inevitably going to get this match again at the pay-per-view. Roman caused the DQ. We're going to get this match again at the pay-per-view. So why exactly are we getting it now? Now, the match was very good. Roman ended up causing a DQ. Roman came out midway through. We had Dawkins getting a hot tag. We had a crossbody by Montez Ford on Jimmy. We had a kick combo to Jay. His shoe actually fell off, so his shoe got tossed into the crowd. Montez Ford was wrestling with only one shoe. We had an electric chair combo by the Profits. Electric chair blockbuster combo. That got a 2. Jimmy just kicked out. We had a super kick by Jay. And then Dawkins kicked out. A super kick by Jay. A super kick by Jimmy. Uso splash, but Dawkins kicked out again. Jimmy and Jay with more super kicks. The Usos splash, then missed. Ford then hit the frog splash, but Roman came in, caused the DQ. This was a very good match. I didn't really mind the DQ in this scenario because I know it's kind of leading to another match. Roman then choked out Ford with the guillotine. Roman then took the mic and he goes, "If Brock Lesnar wants it, he's going to get it. I'll smash him as soon as I'm done smashing Finn Balor." The lights then go out, and the demon Finn Balor has resurfaced. The demon is back. Finn Balor, the demon returned, and he stared down Roman, and it looks like we are getting Roman Reigns versus the demon Finn Balor at Extreme Rules. Should be good. This was the best SmackDown all year, but they need to switch things up because I'm telling you, the show, despite it being a very good show, it was all too repetitive. I'm sorry. So that was SmackDown. Very good show. Perhaps the best show of the week outside of Dynamite. I'm not going to lie. Let us check the chat. Danielle, Dee, Blue Shade Wells, Rob Wells Jr., DJ Sums 17. Thank you all for hanging in the chat. Thank you all for sticking by. We have one more show to go over. And then we are getting out of here. And I thank you guys for sticking by me for the last 2.5 hours. You guys are great. Once again, a happy birthday to Dee. Let us talk about AEW Rampage, which was pre-recorded. This was pre-recorded right after Dynamite. And I gotta say, Rampage was a damn good show. A lot of good things on Rampage. So, Rampage kicked off with Andrade El Idolo versus Pac. This has been brewing for a long, long time, and I was damn happy to see what they were going to produce, and man, they delivered. And I would say this was probably the second best match of the week. Outside of Edge and Rollins, Andrade and Pac stole the week in terms of in-ring work. So, they went strike for strike early on. Pac then with a Hurricane Rana and a twisting plancha to the floor. Pac then tossed Andrade into the barricade to try and slow the pace down. Andrade came back with a beautiful slingshot DDT on the apron to Pac. Andrade then with a springboard twisting plancha crossbody on the outside. Back into the ring. Both men were on the top. Pac was in the Tree of Woe position. Andrade with a double stomp to Pac in the Tree of Woe position on the apron. Looked great. Coming back from commercial, Andrade with an RVD. I know a lot of people love RVD. A Rob Van Dam-esque split-legged moonsault for a 2 count. Pac then hit a reverse Hurricane Rana off the middle rope. He regained control with a big punt kick. super kick to Andrade. Both men were down. Andrade then reversed a power bomb onto the floor, and he did a backflip onto his feet. Pac caught him with a super kick. Pac then dodged a Tree of Woe stomp and hit a beautiful moonsault to the floor. Pac then with a 450 splash, but Andrade grabbed the bottom rope. Pac then caught a handspring Pele kick. Pac then hit a snap German and a belly-to-belly into the corner. Pac locked in the Brutalizer, but Jose, Andrade's valet, caused a distraction before the Lucha Bros came out to take him out, but behind the referee's back, Chavo Guerrero Jr. hit Pac with an iPad, and Pac was out. Andrade got the 1-2-3 victory in an excellent match. Afterwards, Andrade then struck Chavo with the forearm. Andrade wanted to win it on his own. And then afterwards, Andrade watched as the Lucha Bros gave a super kick to Chavo, threw him back into the ring, and Pac was locked in the Brutalizer. So Andrade has split from Chavo, and this is going to be a gateway. This is going to be a gateway for Ric Flair to come on in. And Ric Flair is going to be the new manager for Andrade El Idolo. I'm loving it. Excellent match. Excellent start. Andrade gets the win as he should. Andrade is doing some good shit. Darby Allin and Sting. They were interviewed by Tony Schiavone. He asked, what were your thoughts on Tully Blanchard's comments? Darby goes, Sean Spears, you generic piece of shit. Without Tully, you are absolutely nothing. Sting goes, Tully, didn't you ride on the coattails of Slick Rick all those many years ago? What about Arn Anderson? Why wait? Why don't we do this right here? Tully came out and he goes, you've always liked the numbers game. Now behind Sting's back, Sean Spears came up from behind Darby Allin and dropped him on the floor, and then he got out of dodge as Sting was trying to chase him down. So, pretty standard stuff right here. It was a nice, decent little setup for the match to come next week, and I'm very, very interested in seeing what we have in store next week between Darby Allin and Sean Spears. Adam Cole was interviewed, and he said that he trusts the Bucks and Kenny with their lives, and that they trust me. Cole then promised that Danielson and Christian Cage, Bryan Danielson and Christian Cage, they can't keep up with him. Bryan Danielson then spoke and he said, I'm going after one member, that's Kenny. I'm ready to wrestle, but if it's not Kenny, then whoever steps up. I'm here and I'm game, so let's go. I'm liking these little interviews. I like these little interviews. They're actually very, very good. I'm liking what they do. So Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and Rebel, they took on Riho, Chris Statlander, and Ruby Soho. Decent little match. Decent little 6-woman tag team match. We had a couple of fun spots in this one. Statlander came in with a nice power slam on Britt for a 2. Rebel and Riho came in. Jamie Hayter got the tag, and Riho with a 619 on Hayter for a 2. Hayter then isolated Riho coming back from commercial. Riho then tagged in Ruby. Ruby with a super kick to the face and an STO on Hayter. Tagged to Statlander. Statlander caught an Irish Curse backbreaker from Jamie Hayter. Looked very, very nice. Statlander then double suplexed Rebel and Hayter. Baker then came in with a double knee strike to Statlander. Statlander with a Falcon Arrow. Rebel then covered Britt Baker as Riho delivered a double stomp off of Chris Statlander's back onto Rebel. She delivered a crossbody on Hayter to the floor. Soho then hit the Soho kick on Rebel. And Ruby Soho got the 1-2-3 victory. Again, this is just another scenario of Ruby Soho getting the win and building momentum going into the inevitable match with Britt Baker, which is going to be great. And then in the main event, Max Caster took on Brian Pillman Jr. And my oh my, do I love me some Max Caster. So Caster did his rapping shtick. Caster goes, I'll make your girl call me daddy, but I don't like the fat women here in Cincinnati. And you know, face it, your chili is just a piece of shit. He was going to say shit, but Bowens took the mic and he goes, whoa, watch it, Max. You're already on thin ice. So that was very, very fun right there. I love Max Caster. I love his rapping shtick. So Pillman came out and he took the fight to Caster right out of the gate. Bowens sent Pillman into the apron behind the referee's back. Caster took over with a nice knee drop. Pillman came back with a flying forearm and a lariat. We had the 10 punches in the corner. Caster then cut off Pillman on the top rope. Pillman then hit a crossbody to Bowens on the floor. Max Caster missed the acclaimed to fame elbow drop. Pillman with a springboard clothesline for the 1-2-3 win. This was decent. This was decent, but it was predictable. It was predictable. With this match being predictable, because there's no way Pillman was going to lose in his hometown. This was very, very predictable. Pillman was not losing in his hometown. And on top of that, Pillman and Max Caster, they're two up-and-comers. They're not going to follow Pac and Andrade. No one was going to follow Pac and Andrade. Nobody. Pac and Andrade was going to be the match that everyone was going to be focusing on because they are just that damn good. One thing that I actually loved about this match, it was predictable. It really wasn't anything that we're going to go back and rewatch. But the one thing that I loved about this match, the one thing that I loved about Pillman and Caster is the fact that these are two young up-and-coming guys who are non-WWE guys. I love how all these fucking trolls always say that, oh, AEW doesn't create new stars, or they're nothing but WWE rejects. Meanwhile, Max Caster and Brian Pillman Jr., two non-WWE guys who are up-and-comers, are main eventing AEW's second biggest show of the week. I mean, that right there is something to be celebrated. That right there is big. All right? That right there is big. And I thought that this was great. This was a very nice showcase for the two young guys, but at the end of the day, it was predictable, and nobody was following Andrade and Pac. So Pillman gets the win going into his match with MJF at Arthur Ashe Stadium. Afterwards, we had the Acclaimed attacking Pillman. Moxley then came out to save Pillman, and we had a paradigm shift on Caster to end the show. And that was your week in review. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of the LFU. Another great stream, if I do say so myself. You guys have been great. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. I'm going to be at Dynamite next Wednesday. I'll be doing a vlog. I'll be taking pictures. I'll be handing out free wristbands. It's going to be great. So please make sure, if you haven't got your tickets, get your tickets now. Also, next Thursday, I am going to be on the Top Rope Squishy channel as me and Squishy will be reviewing. We will be reviewing our experience from AEW Dynamite live in Newark, New Jersey. Please be sure to set your calendar dates there. And next week, of course, back on Saturdays is the Lightning Flash update. Happy birthday to Dee Dee once again. I'm DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash update, and you all have a great weekend. Peace.